right, everybody. Good morning. Welcome into the Couch Potato Sports Show. It is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, as we are here on our Sunday morning tradition. That continues on here into our 15th season. Thanks for joining us here as it is week number 5 of the NFL, and we are locked and loaded in on this week. Game is going on right now as we speak. We'll be talking about that one because this game's over in London. It's a kind of a big game in reality because of the standings of both of these teams, what their records are and everything else. So this one here, it's all important for one team to maintain the momentum, one to find their momentum, and right now the Jets don't seem to know where their momentum is. And you take a look at the other side of it, you have the Minnesota Vikings, and they are just doing what they're doing. They're having a great season up to this point. So that being said, let's go ahead and bring them on in. The one, the only guy will knock you in the back of the head with a chair if he had it, even though he is still not in the wrestling business. It is one, the only. Good morning, Podfather.
How are you? You say that, but yet every video you have of me doesn't have me with a chair in my hand.
I know. We need to find one.
I don't have it because I don't have one. I never had to use a chair.
Oh, well, see, but you never
mind over muscle, sir. Mind over muscle.
Who will be the first to actually end up with that? That's the
no. I don't do that no more. So I'm a peaceful man, sir.
Is that what it is? Yes, gotcha. So how you doing this morning?
I'm okay. I had my son's birthday party yesterday at a bowling alley, and we did the whole thing there. And I watched Bad Blood last time I got home, and
I haven't watched that yet.
It was a one match. It was a one match show, which was the first match. But it was it was CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. They really tore the house down. Boy, the word on are they going to be able to bleed now? Oh my God, that came out and they were pouring blood last night.
Wow.
So because for a time during the PG era, Vince would never allow blood to happen on his shows, and if he does, if it would actually happen, and when they would replay the match, they'd always black and white out the picture just so you don't see the actual blood. I mean, you see it, but it's more blackened out. So this was actually, it was a good match. It was a good Hell in the Cell match, and the main event, it gave us a little bit of The Rock and a few other things. And, again, they're building for next year. So, they're in the right direction.
Good morning, Ms. Brown is one of my favorite people. She is, LaShonda is one of my indoor football junkies, and we'll work with her while I worked with the league. So it's always good to see her here joining us here. And there's the dog. Okay, lay down. Don't start this nonsense. Go lay down. Oh, I know what she wants. She wants to go lay with mom. So I forgot to put her back on the bed. I took her out. But that being said, of course, that's the name of this show. We are set for week number 5. I want to pop back. Let's talk about the game that's going on now. It is the New York Jets. They are in a game over in London, and I don't necessarily know if the Jets are all on the same page at all times. They seem to be off. The Vikings are just shocking everybody with Sam Darnold at the quarterback position. And so that's kind of scary, hairy at the same time on what's going on. What's your take on what may be going on right now? 3-0 lead for the Minnesota Vikings. What's your take up on this game?
Well, the Jets are always in disarray. That goes without saying. They haven't been a complete team since Parcells was probably there. Aaron Rodgers, he's look, they tried to bring in Brett Favre years ago and nothing good happened for that. the Jets are who as you always play. The Jets are who we know they are. Okay, so
Yes.
now the Vikings, on the other hand, I mean, they're playing with a lot of confidence. They got a great defense. They're, Sam Darnold's being a hell of a bus driver right now, which is all that
Mhm.
team really needs. Um, you know, uh, in that division, I mean, they're kind of like, I mean, we're seeing a few surprises this year. I mean, between the Vikings and the Commanders and a few other teams that are really starting to, make everybody take notice. And we always say every year, you look at the playoffs from the year before, maybe four of those teams don't make it this year. You know,
Mhm.
I can tell you one team that won't, and that's going to be your Dallas Cowboys. But yeah, it's yeah, there you go.
Just not there. I mean, there's something, now, that being said, if this game was in the States, I was highly thinking about taking the Jets, and not much thinking about it per se, just more in the fact that if they were in the States and everybody, somewhat got a regular weekend, when you go over to London and everything, your week is thrown completely off and nothing is the same. So, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers in reality right now likes that kind of thing. He needs his repetitiveness. He needs what he does weekly, and I think going over to London just shakes the whole thing up, and that's the only reason why I took Minnesota. As far as that is concerned, because mainly you don't know what you're going to get from Aaron Rodgers. That's the reason why I went. Who'd you go with in this game?
I went for Minnesota, but here's the thing: I would have gone for Minnesota if they were here because they're playing better football. I mean,
I
it's the same. It's the same air flight for both teams going over there. So the jet lag and everything else, that's all going to hit both teams. So I can't use that as an excuse.
I
I
used it
mean,
for an excuse for Rodgers and
that's
me
fine.
and everybody else. I agree with you 100%. But there's just something about Aaron Rodgers and his quirkiness, his what do you want to call it, his ego and thing. If it's just not all completely perfect for him, which going over to London can't be perfect,
Well, going to the
then
Jets wasn't
he's
perfect.
thrown sideways. I think.
Well, going to the Jets wasn't perfect for him either.
Well,
So
he went there for 54 mil. So,
yeah, and
that makes it perfect.
four snaps later, he's sitting there on the Pat McAfee show saying, "Man, our alien's great." I mean, I mean, just, the guy's out there, but he's a great quarterback. Was a better quarterback, 5 years ago. But
Yes.
the thing is, maybe the league's passed him by. Doesn't help that he's on a team that's not that great. So, don't get me wrong, the Jets are trying. They're
Yeah.
really trying. But when you're the quarterback of the team and you're arguing with your head coach constantly because you threw a wrong pass, or look, the coach gets the blame because if you're going to fire somebody, you fire him. You don't fire the three
Absolutely.
men on the team. However, you got to put it on the field and you got to play. And if you're not doing the right thing on the field, coach is going to look at you and go, "You cost me my job."
Well, that happens in there. That happens
Right.
almost in every instance,
Right.
especially with the quarterback position. So,
So
but you know, I I just don't know. Yeah, right now, Aaron Rodgers, I think what he is in reality, once he figures out what's going on from week to week with his offense, I think I think we'll see him get better. But the problem is will he get better in time enough to where they can actually make a run for the playoffs? I don't know. As you look at the team in reality, this is a football team that is, what are they, 2-2, I think, or something like that, or 1-3 on the season, if I'm not mistaken. And they just right now can't seem to get out of their own way.
well, the thing is also, like I said, there's so many different types of halves in the NFL season to where, you can be have the shittiest luck in the first half of the season, all of a sudden come on strong in the second half. As long as you won two or three games and you come on strong in the second half, you still got a chance for a playoff.
Hmm.
Now, thing is, they might squander those opportunities in the early part of the season, which every team hopes they don't do. But you never know. I mean, are they just going to be a second half team? I have no idea because they're
Hmm.
not showing anything in the first half to really show that they're worth a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, but I mean, but then you take a look at Minnesota, right? Let's not discount what Minnesota's doing this year. I
Hmm.
mean, while we can all sit here and scratch our heads and go, "Really, Sam Darnold? Really is doing?" I mean, yeah, he is. And you know
Yeah, he
what?
is.
And sometimes you just hang around the league long enough to learn how it goes. Sometimes you just, I mean, while your production on the field may not have been what the sports narcissists out there are looking at, saying he's a quality quarterback. You know what? Sometimes it's enough to sit there and go, well, damn, you proved me wrong. And that's a hard thing
Hmm.
for sports guys to say because they're always they're always locked in on their own opinion about so and so until they prove them wrong. And Sam Darnold, once again, Sam Darnold's looking good the first 5 games of the season. We'll have to wait and see what he does week 13, if he can make it to week 13. But I mean, right now it's a hot hand, and if you're in the NFC North right now, yeah, you got the Lions, you got the Packers, you got the Minnesota Vikings, who we thought was going to be a nothing after they lost their quarterback, and of course you got the Bears, and the Bears are that anomaly too because they have the tools, but they got to put it together. And
That's
until
the
they do
chemistry
that,
kind of thing going
yeah,
on.
and until they do that, then they're going to be a sub 500 team. But
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Sam Darnold, think about this also, as far as where he's been in his career. Okay, he started in New York with the Jets, and just I don't know. And this also goes from coaching. I mean, the coaching when he was there wasn't all that great. He goes to Carolina. That's just self-explanatory. Now, the San Francisco gig, that was just a backup gig, and he had to actually step in and do what he had to do. Going here, he was going to be the backup as well to the young rookie McCarthy. And now with McCarthy, depending, he's out for the season. It's a good thing because if he was coming back maybe later on in the season, I don't think that job is there for him in reality, based upon what so far what we're seeing through 4 weeks. I mean, obviously, even if they drop this game, you're still looking at the Minnesota Vikings, obviously on top in their division. You sit with fighting the battle with the Lions right now, and Green Bay kind of out of sorts. I don't know if Jordan Love's 100% or whatever the case may be. But as that being said, when we're moving forward within the season, that division of football, I think, is going to be really an interesting watch. I mean, we always talk about the AFC North. Well, the NFC North is at least an interesting watch, and where they're going, where they're at right now for all the teams. So, it kind of works in a couple of different ways when you're looking at the talent of certain teams. I just want to see where we're going to be week 9 and 10, where teams are really going to be good and the teams that are really going to be bad are going to be really bad. And where Minnesota and the Jets land up at that time, that'll be an interesting watch.
speaking of an interesting game, that game they had on Thursday was really. I mean, once again, they go from a really crap game with Dallas and the Giants to an overtime game with the Bucks and the Falcons. And Kirk Cousins showed that he's still Kirk Cousins by throwing that interception late in the game. But hell, that what I mean, they came back and won it. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
shout out to them. I lost that game, but
Shout
that's
out to
what it
my
is.
boy. Yeah,
No,
to my boy.
whatever. So
A little Kirk Cousins action, man. Which hey, it is what it is, and they are who they are. And that was that game. It wasn't Kirk Cousins. Let's be honest. That was just a good play at the yakety yak, yards after the catch, in overtime to do that. That was pretty interesting watch at that point of the game. So all set. Yeah, Thursday night football, crazy week. So, and by the way, the standings. Oh, and the pick'em has just really got me all bummed out. Has me bummed out. I'm 4 games behind you, and I'm like 8 games behind the top guy. Hold on, 6. Yeah, 8 games behind my brother, and then Obi. I'm just wondering when he's going to come down to earth. He crashes and burns it around the middle, and so is my brother. So I got to slowly sneak up there and try to get back into this one, and hopefully be there at the end. You're looking pretty good. You're in striking distance in reality. You're only
I'm
four
kind of I'm
behind.
kind of where I was at last year around this time, just kind of just hanging in the bunch and waiting until second half of the season to come across.
That's what I got to do. I mean, getting out of the gate is not always the best thing. It's always it makes you feel good, but you're just wondering when that week 3 is going to kick your, where you get
Well,
3 to 4, it
mean,
kicks your ass.
the thing is, my best week was week 1, but the bad thing was that
Yep.
was also Bryce's best week. He was 15-1 that week, so that
Exactly.
didn't help me out. So, but yeah, it's been a lot of angst this year with our picks because the games I've lost, they were close. They were close.
Hmm.
They were games that could have gone either way. So it's like, you know, it sucks when you think you have all the right answers, but all of a sudden that one play can really just mess up your entire game. For that matter, entire week for me when it came to only winning 7 games in 1 week, 2 weeks in a row.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's a fun league. It's a fun league because once again, if you can guess over 60% and get wins on those, like
Hmm.
whatever, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm currently at 58%,
Yeah.
and right now your brother's at 65%.
Yeah.
So
Just I want
so
to smack him around. Maybe I will just when I go down and visit, I'll smack him around just because. But where he's at, but yeah, I would love to be better, but we're gonna move slowly up those standings. I'm actually feeling really confident about my picks this week. The last I didn't feel as good about my picks, for the last few weeks as I do today. So we'll see what ends up
he
happening
said
this
that
week.
last week,
I'm
folks.
gonna I'm gonna take this week. It just starts with
He
1 week.
he
So
said that. He said that last week.
yeah, no, I didn't say that last week.
Oh,
I did not.
you meant it.
I
It's in your eyes, sir.
Oh, okay, got it. I'm showing it.
We see the
Cuervo should.
we see the crazy. It's okay.
Who knows where it'll come out? But interesting week of games. But this weekend, the big story until we get Cuervo in here, Devontae Adams talking very weird on the internet and on social media about how he wants out. And then I don't know about and that this is just surface because I haven't had time to dive into it. I don't know if Max Crosby, if that story is real, if he wants to go along with Devontae. That's been going on. Some of the stories that I've been kind of just catching the top headlines on. It's an interesting situation because if you go back to last year and you watched him in that documentary series, I think you watched it as well, the wide receivers thing. He was hating life, and then I mean, I don't know what anybody was expecting in reality when you get Gardner Minshew and you have Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams wants a guy who can deliver the ball consistently. And that's not what you're getting with Gardner Minshew. And I don't know, the hiring of the head coach, everybody thought was great at the time. Now everybody's questioning it. It's really, the whole thing in Vegas is going to be interesting. Watch for the rest of the year, see who does what when they do it. And the line, people going into business for themselves, where the Raiders will go into business for themselves, meaning what are they going to do to stir the pot in reality and get it back to quote unquote a football team, because it seems like, at least according to everything I've read, you got a couple of guys outside of Devontae Adams, outside of Crosby, taking a step out and going in an old wrestling phrase, going into business for themselves.
Well, yeah, look at it this way. Gardner Minshew is probably looking at Devontae Adams saying, if I ever had a top quality receiver to help me out and you give me the life that I want to have here, this is perfect. And Devontae, I mean, it isn't working for him. So
Exactly.
it's easy to sit there and just shit all over Gardner Minshew, is it because he's got a
Well,
jacked up
he
name.
sucks.
Yeah, but the thing is, if it takes other players to make you a better player, I mean, look at Sam Darnold. I mean, he's excelling well with the team around him that's working for him. So,
Right.
I mean, every quarterback is only as good as the players around them. Very few can do it on their own.
Right.
Very. I mean, name one really. I mean, Michael Vick tried Michael Vick back in the day tried to carry the Falcons all the way to a championship game, and he fell short. So
Hmm.
I mean, it happens. The thing is that and I always go back, and especially living here or living in the Dallas area and being a Cowboys fan, people always pour on Dak Prescott because he hasn't shown that he can win the big games. And I'm like, well, it takes 53. There's 53 men on the field. He's one of 53.
Right.
And what's everybody else doing? But people are saying, well, he's a quarterback. He's a guy. And I'm like, okay, well, he didn't play defense. So I mean, there's a lot that goes to that, and it's a crapshoot sometimes. I mean, hey, look at college football yesterday. You think anyone predicted Vanderbilt to beat Alabama? No. You think anybody predicted Michigan to fall yesterday to Washington? No. But I mean, or did they expect A&M to beat Missouri? Missouri was ranked 5. So no, I mean, things happen in this league. I mean, you're always one play, one decision, one player, one whatever. It's always away from just getting that one victory.
Well, yeah, it's the one play. I mean, we could go back to Thursday night football. The one play in overtime just gels the whole damn thing. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, when you're talking about greatness, and let's be honest, when we talk football, when we talk NFL, and especially when we're talking quarterbacks, we're talking about greatness, not good. Okay, I mean, we have the thing about it is that this league is not full of good quarterbacks. Adequate, yes, but good quarterbacks or even great quarterbacks, I mean, just take a look at Jacksonville and their situation with their guy. They paying a guy who's been unproven, but he got his money. Congratulations, you got the money, but you haven't proven jack, and he still hasn't done it. And you would think that would be one of the things that he can not worry about anymore and just go in and play football. And that's not the case. So, trying to take that step from being adequate to being good, or even to that point to being great, is a difference. Gardner Minshew, I guess if you want to call him adequate, you can. The guy sucks. He always sucked. And who in their right mind thought that this would be a good match with Devontae Adams? If you're going to have a great wide receiver like a Devontae Adams, you have to have a great wide receiver to have him deliver the ball, and that's just not what's happening in Vegas. So,
Well, but also when you think about it, like I mean, if you go back in history, sometimes adequate quarterbacks win Super Bowls. Look at Trent
oh yeah,
Dilfer.
I get it. I completely understand it.
And
But
and
come on,
and the thing
how
is,
many how many
no, no,
adequate quarterbacks have won the Super Bowl?
right? I know. I mentioned Trent Dilfer. I mean, it does happen. It doesn't happen all the time, no. But I mean, the
Right.
thing is that sometimes a quarterback can get lucky. Right now,
Yeah.
Sam Darnold might be just lucky right now.
Yeah. I agree.
And but
Good
uh, but
point.
the thing is, you ride lady luck until you can't ride her no more. So that
Yeah,
I
there you go.
mean, look at Jalen Hurts. I mean, is he coming to earth? Is he coming down to earth now and not being the quality quarterback the Eagles thought he was going to be?
I
I mean,
just predicted that whole thing from the beginning. Especially with what was going on with their
Sonny,
quarterback
he's been to Super Bowl.
coach. Huh?
He's been to Super Bowl, right?
Well, no, I'm just talking about
Yeah.
for this year. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
I know, but what I'm saying though is that you know some players get figured out way too soon. RG3 was a prime example of that. Great rookie season, then sucked the rest of the time he was in the league. You
mhm.
know, Vince Young, I mean, never quite figured out from college to pro, and when he finally did, it was over. So you know,
We'll
that's
see.
that.
All right. Let's do this. There he is. He's in the green room. Let's bring him on in because I can see him.
Can't see me.
I can see you here on a Sunday morning on the Couch Potato Sports Show. It's the fine co-host of this program. How you doing, my man?
Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing?
Doing good. You're watching the game. I hear it in the background. Is scores same?
It's 10-0, but the Jets are driving. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, see if they can put it together. Just really quick, let's get your take up on this game before you were going in there and who and why you picked who you picked. Looking at this game being over in London, listen, I only picked this game really. I picked Minnesota, not necessarily because I thought they would win the game. I just think that Aaron Rodgers is so much of a diva. If everything is not perfect for him in a line, that's not going to work for him. And being over in London, it can't be perfect in reality. And literally, that was the only reason why I picked Minnesota, because if they're in the States, I might have taken a look at the Jets a little bit more serious. What's your take up on what you're seeing as far as this game is concerned, and why?
Yeah, I mean this game's kind of going as I expected, where the defense was gonna get after Aaron Rodgers, and they have. They get a pick six, and that's why I took Minnesota. I just I'm not necessarily buying into what the Vikings are doing. It's more of just a momentum factor,
Mm-hmm.
and right now Minnesota is playing as a team with a lot more momentum than I would say the Jets are. So
You think JJ McCarthy's worried about his job? I mean, seriously, I mean, because he was going in there, he was primed to be the starter. Darnold being where he's been, being the average at best quarterback. And now here they are, got this guy, Sam Darnold. If this guy leads them to the playoffs, I don't know how you start JJ McCarthy next year and you not try to keep Sam Darnold based upon how the offense is playing with Darnold at the quarterback position. The coaching staff seem to have him figured out, that put him, what they always say in the football world, put your guys in the best place to be successful, and they're doing it right now in Minnesota.
yeah, they are doing that. And I mean, unless it was said and I didn't hear it, was McCarthy on track to be the starter? I mean,
Yes.
is that confirmed? Because
That
I
was
don't remember
he
hearing
was
about
going
that.
to be well, there was a quarterback competition, and it was like 2 weeks before the season. They decided JJ McCarthy was going to be it, and then he got hurt, and then there, in that preseason game, and then it just fell right in the lap of Sam Darnold.
Right. Okay. Well, then yeah, I think he should be a little worried because it seems like, at least for now, that the offense is running well through Darnold.
Yes.
And that's that's exactly what you were hoping for. You were hoping that to just kind of go get through this season, see what you have, and I think a lot of people are surprised by how well Minnesota's doing. I
Yep.
think a lot of people kind of wrote him off, including myself here on this show, just because of the inconsistencies that Sam Darnold has had over his career. He'll show flashes of good quarterback play, and then he'll go right back in the toilet. And then he goes to another team. When he started off in Carolina, it was the same thing. It just kind of seems like a trend for him, where when he goes to a new team, he starts off kind of hot. You didn't really see it with San Francisco because Brock Purdy is their guy over there. But when
Mm-hmm.
he was able to get in there, he showed some good signs. But over time, and that's why I'm going to wait to reserve my thoughts on if Darnold will continue to be the starter. I just want to see if this is going to keep going. They're 4-0 right now. They're in good shape to go 5-0. But is it going to sustain over the course of the season? That's the question. They could wind up starting off 5-0, but finishing 9-8, 10-7, and then everybody's kind of like, maybe he's not the guy for the Vikings. And it's just kind of like the Sam Darnold way. He starts off hot and then he cools down.
Yep. So interesting. You had the Jets, I saw in the picks. The only one that went is Tarvin. I hate when Tarvin's out on an island. I really do, because it usually means he knows something that I don't, which pretty much everybody knows something I
About
don't.
the
But
Jets?
yeah, he's on the Jets. He's the only one on the Jets. He's on an island on that pick. So that kind of worries me. He
Hey,
might
he's
know
a Rodgers
something.
lover, Sonny. We know that. He's a
Yeah,
Rodgers
yeah,
lover.
that's what it is. He's a big time Rogers lover. Yeah, that's it. So, but that being said, we don't have any of our regulars in. So we're going to go ahead and start, and we'll take a look at some of the games that are not, based upon some of our guys. We got we have you have your game. We can we'll come back and wait for other guys to get in. I want to go to. We'll just start it. Let's go to Baltimore at Cincinnati. Baltimore, who's 2-2. Cincinnati 1-3 on the season. Yeah, this is kind of a typical Cincinnati start. At least based upon since Joe Burrow's been with that football team, get off to a slow start, then they kick it up in the second half. Baltimore seems primed and ready to go. They're playing really well as far as that's concerned. So, Podfather, looking at this game and what going on with the Cincinnati Bengals, are they primed to do what they've done in the past and get back into it after week 4, 5, and 6, or what are your looks as Baltimore is just showing up and looking like the team to beat so far in the AFC?
Well, I mean, Baltimore's found their momentum, right? I mean, it's a big word we used last week, but
Yep.
they found their momentum 2 weeks ago against Dallas, and they're riding that thing. Cincinnati is trying to find it. They finally got their one win, which was great. But the thing is that right now, who's the more focused team? Who's the team that is looking at this game and saying we have to win this game? This is a must-win for almost both teams because if Baltimore loses, whatever they've built the last 2 weeks goes to shit. For Cincinnati, they're trying to get back on the same page with everybody else and trying to be that front runner in the AFC North, but they can't do it because you got the Ravens doing their thing. Cleveland's gone to shit, and of course Pittsburgh is still up there regardless of the loss they had last week. So Cincinnati is kind of just being forgotten about. That could be a dangerous thing for Baltimore right now. Let's not take them seriously. But they're a divisional rival; they know to take them seriously. Give me Baltimore in this one. I think Lamar Jackson has got that team dialed in. Derrick Henry is doing his thing, and boy, that was a hell of a miss Jerry had by not picking him up. But is what it is.
Yep.
And give me the Ravens.
Big story this week. Why they wouldn't spend money to get get Henry in there, but more in the fact that listen, I'm gonna pose this to Cuervo. Really, when you look at Henry, he's had 2 good games. Now, granted, there were the last 2, and that momentum changes it. But the first 2, you looked at him and you go, yeah, he got into the end zone, but not too many great yards. But so right now, kind of looks good, looks great on paper. Will they sustain it? And that's a good thing because for them if they are able to do so. But one thing about Henry I've noticed against some really good football teams, he really does struggle in order to maintain what his greatness is against maybe not so great football teams. So what's your take up on what you're seeing in Baltimore taking on Cincinnati this week?
Well, I guess my question would be to that, Sonny, is do you consider the Buffalo Bills, to not be a very good defense or very good at stopping the run? Because when you say that Henry does well against teams that aren't very good, then you must be saying that the Buffalo Bills are not very good at stopping the run. So if that's the case, then yeah, we have yet to see him play a good game against a good defense. And it ain't going to happen today either as far as seeing a good defense, because Cincinnati is struggling. They're struggling
absolutely
bad. You would expect the Bengals, or you expect Derrick Henry to have another big day against the Bengals, but it's a little different. This is a division game, and division games are, you just never know what's going to happen. They are the hardest by far to predict.
Absolutely.
Games like what we're watching right now with the Jets and the Vikings. I mean, you can almost see the writing on the wall with who was going to win that game. Like you said, everybody except Tarvin picked the Vikings. That's not coincidence. I mean, there's a reason for that. So, but when it comes to division games, I mean, look what happened Thursday night, right? I mean, for a minute it was like, oh well, Kirk Cousins throws that interception. That's it. That's the nail in the coffin for the Falcons. all of a sudden people stop watching from what I heard, and they're like, "Well, wait a minute, the Falcons won." So the division games you just never know, man. I mean, they're such a coin flip. So for all we know, Cincinnati's going to come out and dominate this game. I don't see that happening. And I do see Derrick Henry having a pretty big day, but again, yeah, I wouldn't put money on it because like it's a division game. You just never know what's going to happen. Oh, he almost picked that.
So when you're are you set? There he is. Let's bring him on in. It's OB. I'll get that on your face here in just a moment. It's OB.
Sonny, we got to get an intro for OB. Where is OB's intro?
I do, but remember during the season for football, I have high school football files set, and it's hard to take them in and out. But I do have an OB. Matter of fact, I made a new one, so I'll premiere it next week. Good. Yeah. So I made a new one for you. So
good.
I'm looking out for you, my man. So how you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. I wanted to ask Cuervo, how's Rocky Top doing today?
Rocky Top is feeling kind of low right now. We're feeling like Rocky Bottom. That's just
then there's that team up north. How'd they do yesterday?
Say that again.
How'd that team up north do yesterday?
They took an L. Listen, it's no coincidence. 5 out of the top 11 teams lose yesterday. You know,
Miami almost lost.
They had to come back by 25 points or something like that to win by 1. Bobby, I'm convinced, and don't try to deny it because we all know. I'm just going to ask the question.
Go ahead.
Did Ohio State bring back Connor Stallions yesterday?
No.
Okay.
Why? Did you see him on the sidelines?
I'm starting to think he was somewhere because for 5 out of the top 11 to lose, come on.
He was somewhere, wasn't he? Huh.
He had to have been somewhere. He's lingering. Somebody hired him. He's back.
Somebody hired him from his high school team that he was coaching, which he didn't do very well.
Right. He need to make some extra cash on the side.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
There you go.
No, listen.
Hey, Cuervo, I want to say something. I've had a lot of my friends, throughout Facebook and stuff that I've seen that they called a couple of weeks ago. They called that they were saying the national championship game would be Ohio State versus Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't know anymore. I mean, Tennessee's going to have to run the table the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Maybe they can afford to lose one more game, but after, I mean, they're going to have to run the table, I think. Minnesota just scored again, guys, so now it's going to be 17-0 Vikings.
Wow. Tarvin don't look like a genius today. That's great. Yeah.
Game over.
It's early.
It's early. Hey, if they're within one score, you got to worry about Aaron Rodgers at the end of the game. That's what this AI does. So everything else has got to start moving.
Hey,
that said, Obi,
you could say that about Kirk Cousins.
Well,
oh my God, that dude, he's your man, isn't he? He's you got a man crush on that dude.
Sonny is gloating.
I know.
He's gloating about Kirk Cousins.
Hey, no, well, I admitted it before you came on. It wasn't Kirk Cousins. It was the yakety yak after that catch in overtime, which made that happen. So So
but it was Kirk Cousins to the past. So
that's right. That's right.
Just do that.
Happy about that. That being said, we're talking Baltimore and Cincinnati. I mean, we're talking AFC North. These are clashes. These are games that each team bitch slap each other all over the football field. And this I'm not expecting any different. I think it stays close throughout the game. I don't know if we're going to see the Cincinnati Bengals finally wake up. But going up against what Baltimore's been doing for the last 2 games, they seem to be gelling right now. And, who knows? Maybe it's the right time of the year. I don't know. But that being said, Obi, when you're looking at Cincinnati taking on Baltimore, Cincinnati can't even get the full 3 points at home. That's just how good the Ravens are right now. What's your take upon what you're seeing?
I see a desperation game for the Bengals today. Because I mean, look, if they lose again, they're 1-4. Baltimore's 3-2, has 2-game lead in the division. I think you can almost count out Cincinnati and count out you've already counted out the Cleveland Browns in that division. So Cincinnati and Cleveland will be done in that division. So it'd be just Baltimore, Pittsburgh, which is like a freaking broken record. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, every freaking year. Tired of hearing it. But hey, Baltimore, geez, that team has weapons everywhere. I mean, even
Finally,
even
right?
Bo Nix might be able to do good with this team. Be the back.
Well, finally, it's one of the things that Cuervo and we've been talking about for years. They need to find something. You got Zay Flowers stepping up to be that number one wide receiver. Now, granted, we always thought it would be a good idea for them to get the number one wide receiver instead of develop one. That would have been better for the team. But they developed Flowers to where he is now, and then you add on Henry in the backfield. You have a 1-2 head case in the backfield, and that just drives defenses nuts, because if they worry too much about the run, they'll just whip it over to Flowers or anybody else that's out there, and Andrews, he's really their number one wide receiver, but he hasn't been that much of a guy that they're going to depend upon so far this year, because I think Andrews got like 6 or 7 catches through 4 games. That's insane when he's been the guy for years and years right there, Obi.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. I mean, Isaiah Likely had that really good first game against the Chiefs, and it's almost like he's disappeared. I was, not that I'm a Baltimore fan, but I mean, I think Isaiah Likely can step in. I mean, he's kind of that tight end wide receiver hybrid kind of dude, where he's fast enough to run good routes down the field, but yet he's big enough to block out defenders. Man, I think he should be another weapon that they start utilizing more. And
kind of like a Vernon Davis, huh?
Yeah. I'm telling you what. I mean,
that's a good example.
This team is really scary when you have Derrick Henry running like the way he did last week. Mm-hmm. Scary good.
And when you look at the Ravens, as far as what they're doing offensively, if the defense is horrible, we were talking about it. I mean, they're giving up 26 points a game. Okay, that's bad enough as far as the Bengals are concerned. The only thing that they've been able to do is the first quarter, they've been able to hold teams down to less than 3 points a game. So, but you take a look at that, whereas the defense, the rest of them, the points allowed in the second, they're the worst in the NFL in the second quarter. So where are they going to put it up? They're going to have to figure out offense. And frankly, the Bengals got halfway decent offense. They're averaging 25 points a game. So they're getting in there. So the defense is what's going to have to step up in this game, and against the two-headed monster that is Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. It's just going to make that worse. So, so I'll ask you, so are you on the Cincinnati Bengals, or are you going to go ahead and take the Ravens?
Oh, I'm going to take Ravens. Love to pick the Bengals, but I'm going to take Ravens.
Yeah, so that's it. So it looks like everybody's on Ravens. I'm on the Ravens as well. Podfather's on the Ravens, and Cuervo, you're on the Ravens. So that's – go ahead. I hear someone – were you going to say something, Podfather?
No, I was burping.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks for doing that on mic. I appreciate it. So, all right. So that's going to take us to the next game. And since we got kind of full boat, we'll roll with this, because you're Cincinnati Bengals, Obi. What? I mean, I don't know if you're about ready to throw in the towel. I don't know
Cincinnati
if you're about
Bengals? You mean the Cleveland Browns?
the Cleveland Browns. Your Cleveland Browns. I don't know if you're ready to throw in the
Wrong Ohio
towel on
team.
them.
I was taken back by that as well, so I'm not gonna lie.
Well, he was kind of talking about it. But I don't know. What's your? I mean, do you got your Tim Couch jersey on today?
No, I have a T-shirt on, Cleveland Browns T-shirt right here.
Gotcha.
This could be the last week that I wear the brown and orange. I don't know. I'm just really frustrated with this team. I'm going to tell you, they have no shot in hell to beat the Commanders today. They can't score enough points. There's no way. They haven't scored over 20 points in a game. Actually, they haven't scored over 18 points a game.
Yeah, that's in 4 weeks. So
that's in 4 weeks.
Do they wake up today?
Do you think 19 points is to beat the Commanders today?
Well, not when they're putting up 40. Okay, and that's that's kind of hard when you do it. And that being said, there it is. Oh, he's got it in the green room. It is.
Dig it, sucker.
And clown suit or not, when you see this guy on the internet, what he does and everything, he just brings a different aura. It is the one, the only, Bryce in Brooklyn. How you doing, Bryce? Good to see you, my friend. He's got the old terrible towel working. Yeah. So.
Do you always have to wear that damn terrible towel?
It's okay.
You know, I break it out on certain occasions for the show.
No, you don't. You break it out every freaking week.
Special occasions every week.
Occasions. This is one of those occasions. Let's go.
So that being said, of course, I just want to hop back to the AFC North game we already talked about. That being Cincinnati and Baltimore, we're getting ready to move on. The AFC North, it's a ram. They just pop heads and everything else. So that being said, Cincinnati traditionally, lately, slowing down starts. That's not helping them at all, Bryce. That having been said, with the combination of bringing Henry onto that football team in Baltimore, it's kind of helped them two-headed monster in the backfield. What's your take up on what you're going to see today against those two?
First of all, let me say I'm excited to be on this show today.
Of course you are.
It's good to see everyone. Even despite last week when basically Steelers beating Steelers with just dumb mistakes. You know what? I wanted to come on first. I wanted to see Cuervo's face because after that conversation last week, I wanted to look Cuervo in the eyes and say, how does it feel to watch Justin Fields nearly will that team to victory in the second half? He almost put the game on his back and did it. It came up short. They should have won that game. They didn't. They got to own that. But boy, I tell you, that quarterback trending up. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's the best quarterback in the world. I'm not saying we haven't seen him have great performances before. What I'm saying is what I'm seeing from that quarterback trending up. That's all I'm saying. So,
and when you got a defense like the Steelers do, you don't have to have that quarterback, score a lot, always, every time down the field. So that makes a big difference, and that helps Justin Fields too with his development. And what he's doing,
and the defense last week was not very good. So so Justin Fields had to come back in that game, and the throws he was making, the way he was using his legs, the way he managed the game. He did have a couple. To Cuervo's point, there's still a couple of these inconsistent bad mistakes that put the team in a bad position. So there's a lot of room to grow, but I like what I'm seeing. We'll see what he can do this week. We'll get to that. Now, Bengals and Ravens, I'm sad I didn't get here earlier because I really want to hear what Obi had to say about this game. Because I like hearing what other AFC North fans have to think about other AFC North games other than the Steeler game. The way I look at this game, this is a very almost even game to me. Outside of one thing, and that's Derrick Henry. I think the Raven defense has been better. It hasn't been great. I think the Bengal defense, there are a lot of question marks there, particularly in the secondary. I don't know if they can really stop anybody in the secondary. However, the Ravens, from a receiver standpoint, are good but not dynamic. So it really comes down to when the Bengals get punched in the face, how do they respond? They're going to get punched in the face today. You're going to get Todd Monken has come back to reality and decided, if I want to be a great offensive coordinator, let me just hand it to Derrick Henry. And let me just hand it to him in a multi-varied run game, a lot of zone, get him going downhill. We can run the read option off that with Lamar. Let's establish that, and then we'll build everything off of it. Wow, it took him 4 weeks to get to that point. Okay, so we're here. So with that being said, Joe Burrow is always going to give you a chance. Always gonna keep you in a game in some way, shape, or form. To be able to make a play, you got to watch him. But overall, I think the Bengals are just a little bit less tough than the Ravens, and I think they will, once they crack that 12th carry, 15th carry, 18th carry, they'll start to wear them down. I'm going to go with the Ravens to win this game.
So everybody riding the Ravens, and giving Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase an opportunity here. That's an interesting dynamic as well, because that hasn't been, as dynamic as it should be in reality. At least what history has shown between those two, making their connections and doing what they do week in and week out. But again, is it going to be week 5? Is it going to be week 6 or 7 before that starts to come together? Everybody puts their hurt feelings to the side to try to get going, because let's be honest, we can sit here and talk about it all day long. Jamar Chase not getting what he is looking for is pissing this guy off in reality, because he knows who he is and he knows what he is to that football team. And not only that, he knows who he is to, Joe Burrow. So, you pay Joe Burrow the first half of it, but yet you're kind of disrespecting the other side. And I say disrespect because once you got the first guy up on board, you got to get the second on board, and to where everybody's on the same page. When they're not giving him the money, he's not interested in what the page is. He's only interested in himself now, because that's where he's at. So that's what I think that's going on in Cincinnati in reality. So if they put it together and they can put those hurt feelings aside for a couple of weeks and start winning some football games, that'll be good for him. It's just not going to happen this week, because Derrick Henry, against the run, this football team is giving up yards. Watch out for Derrick Henry. Not only that, Derrick Henry runs different than most running backs. He finds holes that are not there. Why? Because he'll just run over you. So they better watch out for that in that game. So that being said, of course, that's the name of the show. We were going to go to, we're gone to the Browns game, and we're talking about the Browns today.
Let's go to the Browns. Let's go to the Browns. We're going to go to the Browns, and say whatever you want about the Browns and everything. I think they got a chance in this game. Now, that being said, just on the record, I'm not going with the Browns. Okay. But if anybody is going to be able to rattle Daniels in the backfield, it's going to be that defense coming, if they're motivated to do so, Obi. And that's the big question. Is the defense motivated now? They see where their season is. They know they suck. That being said, can that defense, led by their guy, show up and actually say, well, we're going to play this game and get the victory?
They're not getting a victory today. This team has shown me nothing even for me as a great fan of the Cleveland Browns to give me any faith that they can win this game. I'm sorry. Deshaun Watson is horrible. He's played horrible. It's not there. I feel like, and I don't know a whole lot because I'm not back there, but I feel like there's dissension in the locker room. Has the team quit on Stefanski? Do they listen to him? All of this matters, because if all of this is going on during the week, it's festering, right? festering, and then it kind of goes out onto the field, and then you have people starting to point at each other and things like that. Deshaun Watson is not what he was 5-6 years ago. I'm done with this. I'm done with this. I just want him to go away. Just
He wasn't anything 5 to 6 years ago. Everybody put this guy up on the pedestal as being a top 5 quarterback, and he wasn't.
You always go too far. You always go too far. He was playing like the man 5 years ago.
No, he was not. He was not playing like he was a top 5 quarterback. He wasn't. You can have the mirage all day long, okay, and you can believe you see what you see. But listen, that guy never proved it. But how many times did he leave his team to the playoffs? And he didn't leave them to nothing.
A couple times.
Okay.
A couple times.
And what did he do there? Not much. He didn't do much at all.
Wait a minute. Didn't they make it? They made it to was it a division win or an AFC championship game?
I don't think Houston went with Deshaun Watson, and I might be, and I'll admit it, I could be wrong.
They made it to the division round again, and they lost to the Chiefs.
So, well,
Which,
yeah.
By the way, Bryce, if you remember, they had that game handled.
They did.
And
so that's
it slipped away because Mahomes magic.
Time out. We cannot see. This is where you want to give Sonny Clark credit for things, but then he just can't. You can't do it because then
he can't help himself.
He wants to go crazy. Right? See, it can't. Give him an inch. Sonny Clark is the definition of give him an inch. He takes 10 miles. He just starts throwing. It doesn't stop. It's like you cannot fault Deshaun Watson back then with how well he was playing, Sonny, to losing to Patrick Mahomes. Like, you can't say, well, what did he do? He lost to a guy that eventually went on, I believe that year, to win the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes. Other than that, Deshaun Watson got that contract based on what he had done with the Texans, which is ball out of his mind.
Okay, you can ball all you want, okay? But for one, listen, okay, we'll give him that season. Take away from that season, Bryce. Really, I mean, look at and again. I'll admit I'm wrong, but what did he do outside of that season? Go ahead. Oh, field goal,
touchdown, Jets, guys.
Jets.
Oh,
so, but outside of that year, Deshaun Watson was average at best. I'm sorry, I've watched the guy play, and maybe he had a good year. You want to give him, and say, but I'm not handing out gold jackets for one season, especially at the quarterback position. Never mind anybody else, okay? So one season, all of a sudden, this guy's the cat's meow. I'm sorry, he wasn't, and he isn't. And he's proved it for the last 3 years with Obi's football team. He had one good year. That's like, saying, he's not Walter Payton, who completely has year in, year out, or quarterbacks who have it year in, year out. You take one season, you want to give this guy a gold jacket. I'm not interested. The guy sucks. He still sucks.
Got that guy.
Yeah, and I don't care what anybody has to say. When he puts it together for 2 or 3 seasons, I'll look at it and go, well, maybe he's good. But to think this guy was top 5 or great, you guys are all under illusion. I'll start drinking. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'll just start drinking because he wasn't and he isn't. He had one good season. Let's put a gold jacket on him.
I have a question, Sonny.
Yeah,
you haven't already started drinking?
What's in that coffee, Sonny?
It's early there.
I'm just so.
What do you put in that damn coffee of yours?
I'm just so sick of everybody, trying to lay greatness on somebody for one season.
I ever said he was great.
No one's ever saying that he's great. We're just saying that he was pretty good at one time.
No, Podfather, they were saying he was great, and that's the point. Top 5.
Bryce, did I ever say he was great?
No, I don't recall him saying he was great. So I mean, I just thought he was a decent player.
Hey, look at Bryce. Look at Bryce. He knows what I'm talking about. They were talking about this guy being that. Hey, Obi, am I wrong in talking about him being that top 5 quarterback years when he played in Houston? Was he a top 5 quarterback at that time? No, they based that up on 1 year. I'm sick of that kind of nonsense because why?
Dude, All I said was Deshaun Watson is not what he was 5 years ago.
Yeah, well,
That's what I said.
Is
Is that right, guys?
That's a fair statement. That's a fair statement.
That is a true statement.
And
it's funny. 5 years ago, he was really, really, really good
for one season. Congratulations.
No, I wouldn't say that.
That's one more than you're giving him.
Yeah, well, that's listen. I'm not going to put anyway.
Give him an inch. He takes.
Anyway,
10.
I will tell Bryce, because I was saying this before I think Bryce came on. Here's the thing: is I just don't about this game today. I do not see the Cleveland Browns defense being able to stop the Commanders at all. I don't. The Cleveland Browns have not scored more than 18 points in a game this year. Is 19 points going to beat the Commanders? No. Is 20 points going to beat the Commanders? No. At right now, of what we've seen so far, if the Commanders, if the team that came out and put a beat down on the Cardinals last week, if that team shows up and plays the Cleveland Browns, they're going to score about 30 on the Cleveland Browns. And there's no way that the Browns can score and keep up with them. The way that Deshaun Watson has played, the way the receivers has played, we can't run the freaking ball with Jerome Ford in any consistency. The defense has shown me nothing. So, as a Cleveland Brown fan, I'm saying no chance. It's going to snow in Phoenix before this team beats the Commanders today.
Well, it snowed a couple of times, so I get it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 108 here today. Really? Come on.
Yeah. Cuervo. I'm shooting over Cuervo.
There's a lot to unpack here. So first of all, I haven't spoke since that guy down there has got on. Okay.
Oh,
Bryce, I'll get to your boy Fields and the Steelers when we talk Steelers Cowboys, all right? But in the meantime, we're talking Commanders Browns here, right? I think this game is going to be closer than a lot of people expect. I do. And I think it's because I do expect to see more from the defense. I do think the defense is going to play better. Listen, what I'm going to say is, and this is going to sound biased, but there's a reason behind what I'm saying. Don't be surprised if Jaden Daniels looks human today, okay? Because everybody's gloating and about how great Jaden Daniels has played, and he's like the greatest rookie since C.J. Stroud last year, and he's just going to lighten the NFL on fire, right? Let's slow down with that, please. I'm really hoping that happens today with the Browns defense, is that they play, some good defense on Washington to show people like, okay, let's slow down with the Jaden Daniels hype. But I do think the Commanders will win. I just think the offense of Cleveland is kind of just falling. It's kind of in shambles. I think they're struggling to find an identity and what they want to do and how they want to play on offense, which I thought it was very clear that they want to be a ground and pound type team. But it seems like they've gotten away from that, and I get it. You got Amari Cooper, you got Jerry Jeudy, David Njoku sounds like he's going to be back for them today. So I get, you want to air the ball out. Sean Watson is trying to reestablish himself in the league to being the quarterback he was 5 years ago, which was really good. But it just doesn't – there's something missing there. I don't know if it's because of the injuries on the offensive line, Obi.
Yes.
There's something missing with that formula in Cleveland with that offense.
Last week we ended the game. We had 3 rookies on the offensive line trying to make a drive to win the game. Not going to happen. They're going to make mistakes, which they did. I mean, and you have 3 rookies on the offensive line.
Yeah,
your guys are banged up. You're at second and third string. You're not going to win consistently in the NFL with an offensive line like that. I'm sorry. And those 3 guys should have been cut from the team.
Well,
so there you go.
You're good that you have them now, right?
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just really just fed up and frustrated and can't stand Deshaun Watson. And I'm a fan I'm not falling off the bandwagon, but I Cuervo, I don't see it being close today. I do not.
Well, I mean,
Might be close for half.
I get it, man. I just think the defense will keep you guys in the game. That's all.
Okay.
I'll just leave it. I'll just put it that way. But I do think Washington wins.
Podfather.
Give me the Commanders. I think they got that Houston Texan mentality from last year. Hot quarterback, not making a lot of mistakes, playing to his strengths. Cleveland Browns defense has not been all that great this year, guys. I mean, we saw week 1 against Dallas. I mean, if there was ever a time to ever light up a team, that was it. So, whatever mojo they don't have currently, they're not going to get in this game. And, I think heads are about ready to start turning in Cleveland pretty soon. I think it won't be your quarterback because, unfortunately, you're not going to fire all 33 players. But I definitely think the head coach has got I think he's on the bubble right now.
Oh, he's on the bubble? He's going to fall to the hot seat today if he's not already on it.
All right, so
Sonny, you picked the Commanders, right, Sonny?
I picked the Commanders. Yes,
Okay.
I did.
All right.
I can't.
All right, so let's go to that game that's going to happen in Pittsburgh.
Wait.
What?
I haven't given my thoughts on the Commanders.
Okay. All right. Okay.
First off,
you just shocked the world.
Give me the Browns.
Feeling very spicy today. Very spicy.
I love it.
He's very spicy today. He's slandering the towel. He's got a lot to say today. Here's my big problem with the Browns. I've been thinking about this. Obi aside, because he is one of the most reasonable Browns fans I've ever met. And I don't know how much that's saying because most of you are delusional. But
definitely.
But he's more reasonable. The problem with the Browns now is, dare I say, you all do not play enough like the Steelers. Kevin Stefanski, who I like, needs to muck up the game like Tomlin does. Play to your defense and create a team that can win 20-17, 17-13. You should be able to rely on that defense to be the catalyst to win games, Bud Parsons style.
Absolutely.
Go back, throw back. You got a quarterback that you can't trust, but you're wedded to because of the money. Don't turn the football over. Run the heck out of the ball. Defense, make splash, do all that. The reason why you can't is because the guy that you all want to put on that pedestal for pass rush, win rate, and all of that, as good as he is, doesn't impact the game in the way that you think that he should for a guy making that type of money.
Exactly.
That is the problem with the Cleveland Browns, that the Cleveland Brown fan, if you're listening right now, does not want to admit. You don't want to admit, yes, we know Deshaun Watson. This is the ceiling. 180 yards consistently is the best you're going to get. The problem is because of that, your defense cannot elevate itself to a level where they can create splash, score touchdowns, and muck up football games and make people play your style of football to win. And that is why you will not be able to beat the Commanders, because Cliff Kingsbury, that plays calling plays, this audacious rookie who has no fear is going to come at this defense and keep that team in the game. And even though the Commanders' defense is not great, the Browns' offense does not have enough at the quarterback position, I think, to take advantage of an offense that will do enough to make you play their style of football, because the Browns do not impact the game defensively enough to make people play their style of football. Therefore, I got the Commanders. That's the Browns in a nutshell.
You hit a home run today. You hit a home run. You stepped up to the plate. You saw two guys on the bases, and you drove a deep one to right field like Pete Alonso on Thursday night and hit it out of the ballpark.
I could blame Obi for this because reasonable Browns
should.
fans can't win out. Their voice gets drowned out by the delusion. So they can't go to their fellow fans and say, you know what the problem with this team is? Number 95 gets paid all this money and has this win rate and people love him and he looks the part. He doesn't impact the game enough for them to lead the team defensively and make teams play their style. They won't want to believe it. They won't want to hear it.
Nope.
Yep. So
they don't.
All right.
And he did, and he hasn't. He has not done it for almost a full year now.
I think Stefanski is in a lot of trouble, and someone's going to get a good coach after they let him go. That's what I think. I whatever is going on, they're not buying into what he's selling just so that you
Not anymore.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of the personnel that's on the field at a certain time. I mean, obviously, when you don't have Chubb out on the football field, you really you take that step back. He's a dynamic that you got to look out for. And then you take up his backup, in Kareem Hunt, and he's gone. So
Right.
you don't have the 1-2 punch that you used to have, and then you throw in Watson, who's not doing what he's doing, up on top of it. Just makes everything a complete and utter mess for that football team. It's almost as bad as the Jaguars, that they're in the mess. But that being said, the two on the bottom are going head to head.
Here we go.
The Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm actually really interested in this one, but before I get it over there, Cuervo, I want you to give your take up on this game before we throw it to these two, because I'm really interested in your opinion with the Cowboys and the Steelers going into this one, a big game in reality for both football teams.
Let's see if the chair shot's coming. Here we go. I'm ready. Let me get myself.
Bryce, I can see it in his eyes. He is licking his chops. He wants to hear what I have to say. Here's how I'm going to start this one off. Bryce, for 1 week, I will humbly take however you want to serve it. The crow that you want to serve me, you can put it on a plate. You can put it on a bun.
Add barbecue sauce.
All I ask is that you let me have some barbecue sauce with it.
Yeah.
I will eat the crow for what I said about Justin Fields last week. He absolutely kept him in that game last Sunday. They didn't win, but you can't win them all, right? So, but I do have to say, not even watching the game, just seeing the stats on it, I'm like, okay, Fields did his part. He did his part to keep the Steelers in that game. They fell short. It is what it is. Okay. Here comes the chair shot. He did that in Chicago too. But hey, it just, I mean, there's been games that, Kirk Cousins threw for 500 yards on Thursday and almost lost.
Fine.
So,
Lord! Now I hate that you even brought that guy's name up. My goodness!
I already celebrated earlier.
Here was the nonsense, Cuervo.
This ties into another point that I want to make about earlier. So we can't talk about Deshaun Watson being a top quarterback a while back, but when we mention either Jimmy Garoppolo or Kirk Cousins, all praise to those guys.
I love it. You made the point of the day. You should be running the show. Exactly. Deshaun Watson sucks. Oh, but all those other guys, my goodness, why can't we get them on our team?
Because they're all lunch pail quarterbacks.
Throw jackets on Cousins and Garoppolo today.
Nonsense.
No,
Nonsense.
So hold on really quick, and then let me throw this out just really quick. Interrupt. Who would you take today, Kirk Cousins or Deshaun Watson, Bryce?
I would take Kirk Cousins.
I would take Kirk Cousins.
I would take Kirk
Hands
Cousins.
down.
But that doesn't mean Kirk. But that's not saying much.
I'm just
saying much right now.
That's not saying much.
Okay, Sonny, let me ask you: would you take Kirk Cousins or Sam Darnold?
Oh,
Right now. Right now.
Ooh.
Right now.
Right now. I think I check based upon the teams they're playing for.
Based on their quality of play right now.
I'll say as of right now, I take Sam Darnold. As of right now.
I don't
Cuervo,
buy it. I don't
before
buy
I
it.
rudely
I'm
interrupt.
sorry, I don't buy it.
He's a fan.
I don't buy it.
Well, Sam Darnold sucks too. God, they all suck. I just have a love for certain guys. I mean, so there you go.
I would like to make a point here. What would the Dallas Cowboys record be if they had Kirk Cousins as their quarterback and not Dak Prescott?
Are you asking me?
2-2? Would it be 3-1?
Or are you asking Podfather? Because
I'm asking.
Dallas Cowboys
I'm asking anybody here that wants to answer that question.
Oh no, I want to hear what Sonny has to say. Sonny, what would their record be after 4 games?
I don't know.
I mean, they're 2-2 now, so
they'd probably be 2-2. They'd probably still drop 2 games somewhere along the way because listen, even though Kirk Cousins is saying, how'd you like it? He still has games where he just takes a total crap on the football field. You know, he has those games, he has those moments. So yeah,
Okay.
probably 2-2.
So Cuervo, continue your thought on this game.
Yeah.
Because I want to hear it. Because I can't wait to
rudely
say what I would
interrupted
say.
you.
I can't wait to say what I would say.
I have to call out my host Sonny because I'm not buying what he's saying. I think deep down he thinks Dallas would be 4-0 with Kirk Cousins, and he also would take Kirk Cousins over Sam Darnold.
It wouldn't be because of Kirk
I'm
Cousins.
telling you,
Listen. That defense.
he wants the heat off of him.
is
That's what it is. He don't want the heat on him anymore. He wants to cool off.
He wants to cool off.
He's like, get me out of this fire right now.
There it is.
hey,
let's call a spade a
look.
spade.
Hey, I'd be the one to say, look, Kirk Cousins is not an upgrade over Dak Prescott. Okay? At the end of the day, he's not an upgrade. The deal is the other 52 players on that Dallas Cowboy team, that's your problem. That is really your problem there. No running, you have no running game, no defense. But we'll get into all that here later as we take on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But back to Cuervo.
Here's the thing, and you know, I preach Bryce's word on this one. 23 through 53. That's where you build your team. And for Dallas to sustain the injuries that they're going through right now, shame on Jerry Jones since he wants to hold all the keys to the franchise. Shame on him for not building this team and continuing to use the same method of let me get the high profile guys and you know, because I just want to sell tickets. That's what he wants. He's not worried about building the roster the way it's supposed to be and you know, in case of guys like Micah Parsons going down, well, we got somebody else that can fill in and kind of hold our head over water until he comes back. Dallas doesn't have that unless I miss something, Trey. I don't. The Cowboys. You know, it's kind of like Green Bay. Star player goes down, they're in trouble. They're in trouble because you look at that roster and you know injuries to. I mean, Micah Parsons. You know that might be an extreme example because he's an all-pro player. But my point is, who's the backup? You know, is it anybody that would be on other rosters right now? You know, that's the way I look at it. So, but you know, going back overall to breaking the game down, I think that's one of the biggest differences is because with Parsons not being there, who's going to be the guy to get pressure on Justin Fields? Who's going to be the guy that can force him to make plays? Whether it's you know, getting rid of the ball quick, or you know, maybe that plays to Fields' advantage because he is a tuck and run. You know, he does go to that a lot, and if you know, if he can, he'll use that, and that's a dangerous thing. When that's one thing about what kept the Bears in games a lot of times was his legs. And you could very well see that again today because who's going to slow him down? You don't have Parsons. I don't know. Is DeMarcus Lawrence playing? Like, I don't know if he's playing. No, he's not, right? So, I mean,
He's actually on injured reserve.
The field is open for Fields to run all over the place and do whatever he wants because there's nobody that's going to be able to slow him down. So I think that's where Dallas needs to be careful. They're going to have to find ways to get guys in that backfield, disrupt what Fields is doing, or if Dallas was smart, they'd make Justin Fields actually play quarterback and be in the pocket and make throws. That's the thing.
That's the key.
Are they capable of that,
pressuring Justin Fields doesn't work, guys. That's what I'm getting at. Because he will hurt you with his legs. He will.
Right.
So,
but are the Dallas Cowboys capable of doing that, though?
I'm not very impressed with Mike Zimmer so far as the DC. I really thought that he was going to be a guy that could maintain what Dan Quinn had going on with that defense, and it just hasn't happened so far. You can blame it on injuries, but that was before Micah Parsons went down, before Lawrence went down. Trayvon Diggs doesn't look like the same guy. Deron Bland hasn't, I think he's out for the season, if I'm not mistaken, or he's out for a long time. So he's not around. So I mean,
he's right now. Bland is on injured reserve, so you're right about that. And so so how long that injured reserve, if it's the 6th of the season, I don't know. So
I don't know either. But that being said, now to who I like in this game. The game is in Ketchup Field. I think the last time that Dallas was there, they beat them, if I'm not mistaken. Zeke Elliott went off on them.
2016.
2000, and I remember, I think Zeke Elliott had a big game.
He did.
When he was still a liable running back. But times have changed, So I like the Steelers to win this game. I think that the defense will once again force Dak into making some bad choices. Dak will have to play some smart football and not get baited into certain things, because that's what the Steelers do really well. They'll bait you into some things and see if you'll make those mistakes, and Dak can't fall for it. But I think the lack of run game is what's going to really hurt Dallas, and we'll see how Fields does. So I like those guys with those yellow towels to win today.
Taking the Podfather to Lariat City, where he belongs today.
Listen, I'm laughing not because of what Cuervo was saying. I'm looking at the Podfather. I think I know exactly what he's going to say in reality, and I'm going to write it down if I can find a pen, or at least type it, and I can show you that I did it. But that being said, Obi, look at this game really quick. What do you got before we throw it to these two?
Okay, here we go.
For somebody who watches football, I'm excited to watch this game tonight. Not because it's the two most hated teams that I can't stand in the NFL.
You love it,
along with the New England Patriots and the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to see a game tonight where the Dallas Cowboys are going to go down, or they're going to go over to Pittsburgh, cross over the Mississippi River, and they're going to land, and they're going to walk into Ketchup Field, and they're going to get punched in the mouth and punched in the mouth again. And we're going to see Dak Prescott pull himself off the turf. Is he going to be able to get up off that turf and drive that team down the field, the length of a field? Because that's how Mike Tomlin wants to play these games. Dirty, nasty, in the trenches, field position. You want to beat us? You're going to drive the field. I don't see Dak Prescott making that decisions and good decisions down the end of the game. This is going to be a lower scoring game than people think, I think. This is going to be like maybe 2019, 2018, 2017. It's going to be a slugfest. But I'm going to love it because the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to punch the Cowboys in the face over and over and over. And I trenches, I see it winning in the trenches, and I see Justin Fields making just enough plays over Dak Prescott to be able to win the game. Justin Fields runs the ball better when he gets out of the pocket. And I agree with you. I agree with you, Sonny. If Dallas has a chance to win this game, they've got to make Justin Fields be a pocket passer.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah. But they've got to follow the game plan and keep it there. And again, what's his name? The defensive coordinator. Can Zimmer do that? Or is he going to take that one or two chances late in the game? I'm going to blitz Justin Fields. And you're going to Fields that little crease to get out there and break their back. That's what's going to happen tonight. Pittsburgh Steelers for a W.
Podfather going to Lariat City. I love to see it.
All right. Now I'm going to Bryce for a reason because I think I know what's coming from one Podfather. That said, Bryce, let's not get your one, not two, but your 3 points of emphasis in this game against the Dallas who?
Well, listen, first and foremost, I don't have the 3 keys yet. I haven't posted. I'm thinking about it. I haven't posted them yet. But
ball control.
Yeah. I have to give that some thought of how we're going to beat the Dallas Cowbums. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Listen, let me address a couple things first. Cuervo said. Remember, when it comes to Justin Fields, this is all I'm saying. The trajectory is looking up. I haven't said he's arrived. I still feel there are too many dumb mistakes that he has to clean up. Trying to make a play, you get sack fumbled when you're trying to run backwards. Like stuff like that cannot happen. Still having issues with snap exchanges with the center. It makes me want to pull my hair out. And since I don't have any, my scalp will have marks in it. It is ridiculous. It has to stop immediately. I also want to address something Cuervo said about blitzing Justin Fields, which I have thought about. Why aren't teams blitzing Fields more and playing more man coverage, hacking that box, run blitzes? Look, the Colts were successful run blitzing. I'm like, oh, the reason why is because Justin Fields has that elite trait to run the football. Number 2 in the league behind Lamar Jackson. I don't think anyone runs it better than Justin Fields. So when you play man coverage and turn your back, he can run the football. And now 12 runs, 2-3 yards of 12 runs. Now the field has been flipped, and they're getting into their stuff. I'm like, okay, that's a good point. See what happens there. When I look at Pittsburgh tonight, first and foremost, let me say the Cowboys are very banged up. And I don't want to see guys get hurt, but I don't have a lot of sympathy because they're not the only team that's been banged up. The Pittsburgh Steelers have also been really banged up on their offensive line. Troy Fautanu out, Herbig, the starting center, out, the rookie's in. Isaac Seumalo's coming back. We lost James Daniels last year. Cuervo knows all about James Daniels from his time with the Bears. I believe those fans didn't want to see him leave. He was a good lineman. He's been pretty good for Pittsburgh. He's out for the year. Yeah. So Jalen Warren, the backup running back, who's really good, he's out for Pittsburgh. Alex Highsmith, starting linebacker, out for Pittsburgh. So we're beat up too. So injuries, they're just as much as part of the game as blocking and tackling. You got to deal with them, which brings me to Cuervo's point about 23 to 53. 23 to 53 is boring to talk about, but it matters. And there's a real deficiency there when I see the Dallas Cowboys. I see a Pittsburgh Steelers team that, because they were on the road, I think got a little too conservative offensively in the beginning of football games. They needed to see Justin. They wanted to protect him. They wanted to see Justin Fields make those plays. You watched the press conference after last week, and you just saw Mike Tomlin, the way he responded to Justin Fields. He doesn't give out compliments a lot. But when you see him be like, man, Justin really showed a lot of mettle in this game, I think something happened there where they were like, oh, okay, this guy can be trusted with the ball in his hands if we guide him to really make plays and run this offense. I can see the Pittsburgh Steelers coming out in the beginning of games and opening up a little bit tonight. Not fully like run and shoot, but giving him more opportunities to throw the football because Pittsburgh is at home. First 3 of the 4 games are on the road. Young offensive line, new quarterback, getting to know each other, new receivers. I think they were game plans to protect. We got a run call. We stick with the call. That's what Field said this week during the press conference. So let's see if they open it up a little bit more. On the defensive side, Dak is going to be dangerous. Dak and CD, that's a deadly combination. But I think Pittsburgh has enough to hopefully counteract that. And with the injuries to the offensive line, are the Cowboys going to get introduced to Mr. Watt tonight? Is Mr. Watt going to really impact this game? And is Patrick Queen really going to impact this game if the Cowboys can't impose their will with their older running backs? I don't think they'll be able to do that. So tonight, while I do think it's going to be a tightly contested game, ultimately, the Pittsburgh Steelers send the Cowbums home and out of my state with a loss. Matter of fact, the Cowbums shouldn't even be allowed to touch the grass of Heinz Field until they pay an extra $5 million fee, because we only let certain people touch the grass of Heinz Field, and the Cowbums really aren't deserving to be on Heinz Field. There's too much winning that's gone on, and the Cowbums have been too disappointing and too overhyped to step into Heinz Field.
They're America's team.
And we're going to send the Cowbums back to Texas as the worst pro team in Texas, because the best one is the Texans. That's the pro team of Texas. Sorry, Podfather. I love you, but we're sending you to Lariat City tonight.
Lariat City, coming from the one, the only Bryce from Brooklyn. Now, that being said, I'm going to throw it to the Podfather. And I'm wondering if
He's
I'm
been
right
patient.
on what
He's
I
got
think
that
he's
look in
gonna
his
say.
eye.
He has. I just
He's
because
very
I know.
quiet.
All right, Podfather, it is your shot. What is your take up on what you see with the Pittsburgh Steelers hosting the Dallas Cowbums in Ketchup Field?
Ketchup.
Gentlemen, the Dallas Cowboys got the Pittsburgh Steelers right where they want.
I knew it. He was going to switch up. All he talks about is, we're going to lose.
Oh, no. Hey, I'll say, just hear me out. I'll let you talk. Let me talk now, okay?
Here we go.
Okay. The Dallas Cowboys are 2-0 on the road. Ezekiel Elliott's been holding himself back until he gets back to Pittsburgh to have the kind of game he had back 8 years ago. because that really matters, apparently. Look, yeah, they don't have Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Ware. Well, they've been kind of absent to the season so far, so that's really not a big deal. Okay? I mean, can TJ Watt go up against rookie lineman Cooper Beebe? Okay, I can't have this facade go any further. No, Dallas is going to get killed. Okay, I mean Dallas is going to get killed today because I mean, look, I can't even look at this game fairly and go, look, I can't be biased towards it because, look, while Dallas is a decent road team, I guess. I mean, if you want to call last week's game against the Giants a good road win.
Oh.
Look, the Steelers are the Steelers better than the Giants? I think we all can agree they are.
Oh, yeah.
And probably not by much, but they probably are, Cowboys played the Bears last year, and they had to play Justin Fields. And Justin Fields had a little bit of a career day against them, if I remember correctly. So, and that was against a defense that actually was ranked. This defense ain't ranked right now because you can run, you can pass, you can do all sorts of crap with them. Unless Brandon Aubrey kicks 8 field goals today, which I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, that's 24 points. That would beat the Steelers. But look, it's easy to sit there and blame Dak Prescott for how the team's going to go today. Okay? And yes, you're paying him you're paying him more money than AEW got paid to be on Warner Brothers television. They got 150 million. Dak's getting 240. So who got the better deal, right?
There you go.
Look, there is no way in hell Dallas wins this game. We waiting all night for Sunday night. That's all well. Okay.
That's what I thought. I thought you were just going to say, after everybody gave it, you were just going to say, Steelers win. Steelers win. That's what, I was typing and doing it. The Pope Father.
Put a D on that name, motherfucker. No, anyway, no, look.
Look, he wants his D. All right, he wants his D.
I want my D.
He's got his space between God and Father on his trophy too. So
that's true. I am Pod Space Father on there. But by the way, let me show the trophy real quick.
Yeah, there's
You're welcome.
The trophy. Yep. Yeah.
You're welcome.
There's the trophy.
So yeah, look. I mean, anybody that's going to pick Dallas in this game is a way better fan than I am about this team, but they're also very unrealistic as well. Now, can Dallas win? Sure, they can win. Again, 8 field goals can happen. But, Brandon Aubrey, he had his 1 miss last week. How's that going to mess with him? So, someone's dogs are going crazy. But anyway, look, I can't sit there and talk good about a team that I have no faith in. I mean, I know Obi has 0 faith in the Browns. What did I say at the beginning of the season? 6-11 for Dallas. They're 2-2 right now. They got the Steelers, they got the Lions, and they got the Niners next. If they go 1-2, I'm surprised. Yeah. So that's, in my mind, 3 straight losses right there. That's your season. Yep. That takes all the air out of the room, and it pretty much makes you look at it around and start pointing fingers. I mean, you're about as bad as Vanderbilt was last night at the end of the game last night. Not Vanderbilt, Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's give me the Steelers. Bryce, I'm when I call it like I see it, Steelers are the better team today. They're gonna have home field advantage. They've already got like a 3 to 4 point advantage over Dallas already. Should have been higher, maybe 7, but I think Vegas didn't want to do that because let's face it, all the games this year has been really close. Yeah. Even our own losses have been really close. Hell, I picked the Falcons this past Thursday in a game that went to overtime. So no, I'm sorry, I won the Falcons. I picked their opponent. So I mean, it's been a very close year this year. That's why the odds are so 5 or less. Only one team has got like a 7-point advantage. But listen, you can the Steelers defense should have a field day with a non-running game that Dallas has. They should have a field day with the fact that Brandon Cooks is out. So you have CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson and Hunter Lemke. Good luck with all that. So, yeah, give me the Steelers.
I'm looking at the whole thing in a nutshell, and it has nothing to do with Dak because what the Podfather said is right. This is not going to be Dak's fault today. It's going to be the fact that Diggs isn't who he was 2 or 3 years ago, though. Interception machine that he was for 2 years, and then now he's no longer there. Bland is out on the football field. He's hurt. DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. You field 11 on the defensive side of the ball. There's 4 that are gone, and they're not just good players. They're the meat and potatoes of that defense, and they're not going to be out on the football field. So Dallas Cowboy fans are going to be just like, this is total BS because they're going to get their asses back out. Because even with Justin Fields, when you don't have the superstars on the other side of that football field, he's going up against a college football. I don't care what anybody says about how great college football players are and football teams are. You run them against the worst team in the NFL, and the NFL is going to kick the living piss out of them. I think that's what's going to happen here today. They're not going to be able to stop Justin Fields, whether he's going to throw it or if he's going to run it. By the way, I think they're going to run it. And main reason why I think they're going to run it is because the Cowboys aren't going to protect, because they're not that smart without those four guys out on the football field on the defensive side of the ball. Dak Prescott's going to put up 28 points possibly today, and they're going to lose 29-28 or 30-28. They're going to lose. But, you know, if he does, I'm not saying they are. If they do it, it'll be 28 points. But I just don't think the defense is going to be there. And I think the Steelers are just going to have their way with them today. And it's going to I think it might get ugly. And the bad thing is Dak Prescott is a $60 million man. And when you're a $60 million man, you're expected to win regardless how bad that defense is. And that's just a fact. That's just the way people look at that football team. Never mind, you want to talk Cleveland Browns being unrealistic fans? The Dallas Cowboys are. But guess what? The Dallas Cowboy fans have come down to reality lately as far as how good they are. Because guess what? Even around here, the stark crazy Dallas Cowboy fans, they're questioning the Dallas Cowboys even possibly making the playoffs. So I'm going Steelers. I think they win big today. They win by 2 touchdowns, I think that's what, and not only that, they're at home, and then they can beat the snot out of them is what I think ends up happening. So I lost Cuervo. So, but go ahead.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to say beat them by 2 touchdowns, but look, these games are always going to be closer than what we think. I do not expect the Cowboys, obviously, to come and just lay down like dogs and get beat by 20. You know, Dak is too good. CeeDee Lamb is too good. You know, they've got offensive pieces. But here's the thing, too, with Mike Tomlin. When you're beat up like the Cowboys and you know CeeDee Lamb is the guy that's got to get the ball, Tomlin can do a good job of coming up with a game plan like he's done to Cooper Kupp before and trying to neutralize CeeDee Lamb and make some of these other guys beat you. The key for the Steelers will the offensive line be able to get push in the run game? You look last week, Najee Harris didn't have a lot of holes to run through. It's Pittsburgh just making too many mistakes, like one guy away. They're close. When you watch the tape, the run game is close to breaking out. And a lot of this, with a younger team, I put on the fact that they're on the road. Pittsburgh's playing on the road, even though they got good fans. You're still on the road. It's different than when you're playing at home in terms of communication. And if this game was in Dallas, I'd be like, even with the injuries.
Why Dallas can't win at home?
Well, right, but still, I mean, playing on the road for a team that has young offensive linemen, you got a rookie center, you got the rookie right guard, you know, you still got Roderick Jones, who's young. It can be a challenge, but playing at home, I think that takes us over the edge.
You know, it's funny. The NFL is really trying to hype this game up tonight. They have a graphic here. Head-to-head stats. Cowboys 5 Super Bowls. Steelers 6.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas 22 division titles. Pittsburgh 24.
Mm-hmm.
Head-to-head wins. Dallas 17. Pittsburgh 16.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams have 1 league MVP.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's not enough to sell me on Dallas.
It's
I know the roster right now.
I mean, if Peacock is going to sit there and go, we got the game of the week this week. Did you not see the Amazon game of the week last week where it was such shit that was being on the field in New York? No.
Podfather, let me tell you something. That game last week, you played the Giants. The Giants should have won that football game.
Mm-hmm. But hey, as I said, if Dallas pulls it out today, some miracle happens. That means Brandon Aubrey kicked 8 field goals. He now leads the league in field goal kicking in 1 game, and you know that means because Dallas ain't going to score a touchdown, it's going to be hard. I mean, they can't run the ball, and if you can't run the ball, guess what you can't do? You can't pass the ball either. And your quarterback going to put the ball 50 times in the game. Well, how many quarterbacks win with that?
Right.
How many quarterbacks win with a five? Who unless you're Kirk Cousins, who have an overtime win, and
that's where that
Yeah.
sunny grin was coming from.
yeah, I know,
Oh, because
I know, but I mean, if you throw over 500 yards,
did that.
but hey, look, clearly Dak Prescott's not a lunchbox quarterback, sir. We get that, okay? He's not a lunch pail quarterback. It's okay. It's okay. He's got $240 million. He's all right. You don't need a lunch pail. So I mean, but then again, Kirk Cousins got 150. I got 180 million. So be quiet. So look, I'm glad people are going to tune to Peacock to watch Dallas and Pittsburgh because it is a storied rivalry for Super Bowls and championships and everything else.
Can't stand
it. That's not what you're going to have in this game now, okay? It is week 5. It is Pittsburgh who is probably better, who's probably not as good as their record says they are, but they're good enough against Dallas, who is not nearly as good as their record. So, meaning were they 3-1 right now?
Who, the Steelers?
Yeah.
The
Steelers would be a really good 2-2 team. Mm-hmm. They're overachieving right now in some aspects, being 3-1. Whereas Dallas is 2-2, and they are overachieving on the 2 wins they got. So, again, it is what it is. I mean, it's a crapshoot one way or the other. It might be a close game. It might be a 1-point game at the end of the day. You know, it might be 14-13 final score. But we'll have to wait and see. Or of course, in my opinion, it could be 10-9. Dallas 6-3 field goals, and Steelers get that 1 touchdown, which actually matters. So we'll see.
I don't agree that Pittsburgh is not a 3-1 team, though. I had them at 3-1 going into the season, but I had the loss to the Chargers, beating the Colts. So I think they're right where I thought they would be. How that goes, we'll see. I had them winning this game tonight. I don't change that. I think the Cowboys need to take a page. It really makes me sick to have to even say this. They need to take a page out of the Kevin Stefanski playbook and run a lot of zone runs.
Yeah.
Just run zone.
I agree.
Pittsburgh has a little bit of trouble defending the zone run. Run the zone run till the cows come home when you do run the ball. Run it as much as you want. Run some play pass off of that. Move CD around. That's the way that they get offense, generate offense in this game if they want to win.
That said, everybody's on the Steelers. So that takes us to the gentleman in the middle on the top.
I got to go after we talk this game. I got to go, but I'm staying for this.
All right. So that being said, I'm going to switch it over. I'm going to bring Cuervo in on as the Dallas Cowboys or the Chicago Bears are. Yeah, I don't know.
The Bears are who we thought they were.
He couldn't help himself.
Or he couldn't do it. I had to do it.
Love it.
Or can they do something here today in order to, liven up this football team, make people have the mirage that they're really good? I don't know. Maybe they come out, they fire on all cylinders. That said, Cuervo, I want to throw it to your football team. Your Dallas Cowboys are in action. What do you think about your football team?
His Dallas Cowboys are in action?
Boy, that dude is.
I mean, I'm still on the last name. You're on mute there, Cuervo.
Obviously,
the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears. What do you think about your team's chances today?
You know what, Bryce? I'm going to let Sonny get his little chair shots in. Say what he wants to say.
He can't help it.
And he can't help himself, right? But guess what? Guess what I'm doing? I got something brewing over here. Because guess what happens next Sunday in London? Bears, Jaguars. Baby.
Whoa!
Bears, Jaguars.
I'll be here for that. Oh, I'll be here for that.
I've got something special for Sonny Clark. Trust me. You don't want to miss the host versus co-host bowl over here. Whatever you want to call it.
I can't wait. I'll even make a graphic for it. I'm waiting for it.
You go right ahead. You do what you gotta do, Sonny. But I got something.
Yeah. All right. Hey, listen. I don't know what team is. I think I might even admit your team is better so far this year. So there you go.
But I thought rookie
today-
quarterbacks sucked.
They do.
Oh, but you're gonna pick the rookie quarterback to beat a veteran in Trevor Lawrence.
Is he a veteran? Oh my God.
I mean, he's been in the league what 4 years now.
He's been in the league for 4
They're
years,
playing-
and he listen. I'm not.
The Jaguars have been playing awful football.
Oh
They-
God.
you know,
They have no chemistry. You know, it don't even matter because guess what?
going to amount to jack squat.
That's what my football team is. So that said, listen. I don't know the redheaded guy for the
red
Panthers. The red rifle is in action today against your Dallas or your. I'm stuck on your game. Your Chicago Bears. Your Chicago Bears. How do they work together? I mean, you guys know who Andy Dalton is. We know who Andy Dalton is. So go ahead, Cuervo.
Yeah, and the Bears know who Andy Dalton is because he played first season for them.
Yes.
Listen, gentlemen, I'm convinced that I'm pretty sure that teams around the league listen to this show right here.
Yes.
And the reason I say that is because, first of all, when I called out Justin Fields last week, what did he do? Mike Tomlin must have heard. His ears must have been ringing and said, oh, okay, all right, Cuervo, you think Justin's still a bum, huh? And he went out there and he balled out. You know, they came up short on the win, but he balled out and he proved me wrong for that for one Sunday. Then it goes to my half-ass promo that I did for the Bears, talking about what they needed to do.
I can't even call that a promo, sir.
Well, it's just a rant. How about that? It's like a half-ass
there you go.
rant about how miserable that offensive line looked against the Colts 2 weeks ago. So they go out, they actually establish the run. They actually Caleb made some nice throws. He still has a problem overthrowing receivers. I think he'll work on that and he'll get better with it. But look, the offense looked a lot better. Run game was there. Caleb gets DJ Moore in the end zone. And the Bears looked like the team that I was hoping they would look like. That being said, now we move on to today's game against these Carolina, the Kittens, the Panthers. I want to see some more of what I saw last week. Build off of what you did last Sunday. Continue that momentum, running the football, getting Caleb comfortable in the pocket, making good reads. Listen, I don't care about numbers. Everybody likes to be admired and by numbers. That's fine. For Caleb Williams, I say the same thing that Bryce says about Justin Fields. As long as the progression, the graph is going like this for Caleb, they can go 9-8, and I'm okay with that. They can go 10-7, and I'm okay. As long as Caleb looks better in week 16, 17, 18 than he did in week 1, 2, and 3, then as a Bears fan, I think they accomplished what they needed to. Maybe not necessarily what fans want, and go 16-1, and I don't, because that'll come with time. It's just Caleb needs to progress as a quarterback in the league, and I think you saw some good things, but the key here is to build off of that, build off of what is working, what worked offensively. Shane Waldron, I thought, did a good job, especially in the second half. And I've come to realize that the Bears are a second half team. As long as they can keep the game close in the first half, the Bears have a chance to win. When they lost to Houston, they were down by, I think, 10 points going into the half, if I remember right. When they lost to the Colts, I think they were down going into the half. So as long as they're either tied or they've got maybe a 3-point lead or somewhere around there, I think the Bears in the second half, they're very good at making minor adjustments to what they're doing and what the opponent is doing, and they wind up playing a lot better in the second half. So, that being said, even though Andy Dalton has this Panther offense looking a lot better Bryce Young did. I still like my Bears to win today. I think especially with all the injuries that the Panthers have on defense, Shaq Thompson's out for the year. Derek Brown went down earlier in the season. So, the Bears have to take advantage of that. Again, we don't ever wish injuries on guys on this show, at least. We don't ever praise it. We don't ever celebrate it. At the same time, though, teams play who they got to play. They do what they have to do. So the Bears got to take advantage of the shortfalls that the Panthers have on defense and get out there and establish the run again. Get Caleb comfortable in the pocket, and I think the Bears get another victory.
So that said, I'll throw it over to Bryce. What he thinks he sees in this one. I don't know if there's really a lot to talk about it in reality, unless you really think the Red Rifle is going to, show up again. So what do you think, bro?
One last thing, going back to our previous conversations. I want to know where Dollar Bill Will is, because didn't he tell us that he had the Bears winning this division and doing a Texans-like turnaround?
Yeah.
Yes.
And didn't he say that?
That was not smart.
He lasted
week
out.
one.
He was called out. The father called him out.
And I hope someone right now is drug testing him, because he clearly was on something when he said that. No disrespect, Cuervo. Also, didn't we have a host on this show say the Dallas Cowboys were going to win that division as well?
I did. I got drug tested and I came up dirty. I'm sorry.
I wonder how that's working out. Okay, so that being said, this game today, I think Cuervo spot on with a lot of his points. Look, Andy Dalton, an experienced quarterback, he gives them a little more stability with, I think, a play caller who, in his mind, probably works better with a veteran quarterback. Wants to run his stuff, implement his offense. I've got the veteran that has kind of given us a spark. Deontay Johnson is a route runner. He'll route your corners up. That's a guy that, as a talent on the field, I think is a really good receiver. But with that being said, you've got. I don't think the Panthers are dynamic in any area of the game, and I think with that, the Bears being at home could take advantage a little bit of some momentum. I think they can get their quarterback out the pocket a little bit to make some plays, and if they can replicate the energy that they played with in game one, make a play on special teams, get their defense to maybe get 2 turnovers, I would come after Andy Dalton and blitz him and see if you can create some chaos. And if you can get Caleb out of the pocket, maybe hitting guys on the run, I think the Bears can do just enough. I'm going with Cuervo's Bears to get the win at home.
Going the Bears for one only Bryce
Classic
from Brooklyn. All right, Podfather, what's your take upon what you're going to see here with the Bears? I got it right. Got Bears and Panthers. Go ahead.
Cuervo, let's see if you're going to Lariat City today.
Yeah, right.
I have a question. Sonny, how's Andy Dalton not one of your favorite quarterbacks? He's a lunchbill quarterback. He's white. I mean, it kind of fits the same criteria.
Exactly.
I love it.
And he's given him a nickname, the Red Rifle.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I didn't
can't run.
I'm not that bright.
Can't run, stands in the pocket and throws it. No. That's his guy.
Hey, look, honestly, Obi, if you could trade Deshaun Watson for Andy Dalton, you'd do it in a heartbeat, wouldn't you?
Oh,
maybe yes.
Why is it Joe Flacco?
Maybe yes. Because I kind of feel like Andy's
short-circuited.
I kind of feel like
my brother is short-circuited.
And Joe Flacco kind of like a little bit of the same kind of guy.
God, don't you wish you had Joe Flacco back?
Yes, I do wish we had Joe Flacco.
He played well. I don't know why we didn't blitz him. That was a missed opportunity. We let him sit back there and he made too many throws.
You can't do that with Joe Flacco. He'll pick you apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very good.
Because if anything, the guy's smart. back there. I mean,
Yes.
he may not be the greatest quarterback in the world, but he's smart as hell. So that's where
So Harvard
he's able to
grad.
win the game. But anyway, look, Carolina, they're Carolina, okay. And if anyone ever picks Carolina to win a game this year, we're definitely stepping on that ledge and hoping to get that one up on everybody else. Yeah, I see you, Cuervo. But having said that, look, I'm not saying Carolina can't win this game because, again, Caleb Williams can make those mistakes that a rookie quarterback will make, and Carolina can capitalize on it. I mean, let's face it. I mean, the game might start 3 minutes in, Carolina's up 10-0. It could be that easy.
Yep.
But I don't see it happening. I think the Bears have got a lot more around them to balance out whatever inexperience Williams has right now as a quarterback, especially against Carolina. But the Red Rifle, I don't know. I mean, Sonny, maybe you sound like Gingers. Is that it? I mean, yeah, Gingers have no soul. We get that, but I mean, yeah.
Man, I love me some Dak Prescott. So now
I
I'm
see Gator
the
play.
white quarterback guy, and now this. Okay,
He's
this
mixed.
is good. All right,
He's mixed. That's different, sir.
Lunch pail guy.
Yes.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, all right.
So anyway, give me the Bears. It'll be close. I think it'll be close, but give me the Bears.
The Bears. So, all right, Obi. Oh, go ahead there, Cuervo.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Obi. But it seems like everyone's picking the Bears, and if anybody's not thinking about that, there's still a little incentive for the Bears to win this game too. Just throwing it out there, because the Bears are still to this day eating off of the trade that they made with Carolina for the number 1 pick 2 years ago when they drafted Bryce Young. Carolina, the Bears will get Carolina's second-round pick in the draft next year.
Ooh.
So the worse that the Panthers are, the better the pick for Chicago.
There's a big handshake waiting in the Mississippi yard line.
And there's Joe. Good to see you, Joe.
All right,
So just throwing it out there, guys.
just so that. All right, Obi, what's your take up on the Bears and the Panthers?
Floor is Obi's.
Okay, so every one of our teams has had one of those games so far this year. It's like a shame on you moment, right? I think
And
my
if you're
Browns,
the Jaguars, it's all 4 games.
my Browns losing to the Giants. That's shame on them. That's one of those games where you should not lose. And this is a game for the Bears where if they lose this game, shame on them. So the Steelers lost to the Colts last week. Shame on you guys. You guys should not have lost that game. And the answer, like I said, this show does not, talk. We don't encourage injuries. We frown upon them. It was sad to see Anthony Richardson go down in that game early. At that point, it was okay. The Steelers got this game, and somehow they muck it up and they lose. The Cowboys getting thrashed and embarrassed at home by the Saints. That was their shame on them game. My Browns, the Giants, shame on. I think the Jaguars, shame on you for losing to the Browns.
No question.
You give up 18 points and you still lost. So this is a game this week of the Bears. You lose to Carolina Panthers, shame on you guys.
Agreed.
You're playing at home. This is a big home game.
Yes.
Bears should come out and be ready to all fired up and ready to just tear the walls off, or tear the sheetrock off the walls. Just ready to go. Your coach should have these guys ready to go. Let's put these guys down and step on their throats while they're down. Can you do that? If you don't, if you let the Panthers and you keep them in the game, fourth quarter, somehow, some way, the NFL is crazy this week or this year. The Red Rifle drives them down and puts a dagger in your heart.
Don't say it, Obi.
Dagger in your heart.
Even
no, I'm not saying.
Don't even
I'm just saying. at the end of the game, if the Panthers are close, if they're in this game, the NFL is really weird this year.
You're not wrong.
I just see somehow the red rifle coming down and getting the Panthers a W. But to me, no, I am not picking the Panthers to win. No. But I'm just saying,
the fact that you're putting it out there.
Shame on you guys if you lose to the Panthers. Shame on you.
Yeah, he's right about that. The Bears need to win this game.
I
think for the season, this is a must-win for the Bears. You want to have any semblance of a season, you got to win this game.
Must win.
Yep. The Bears. I trust the Bears today.
If the Panthers win this game, we might listen. If the Panthers win this game, Cuervo is going to go ballistic next week.
Yeah, he's going to wear a bag over his head maybe next
I was
week.
like,
I
hey,
did
Cuervo.
when the Jaguars.
Yeah,
Cuervo, if Carolina wins, will you dye your hair red for 1 week?
Right? You know what? In honor of Sam Darnold, because he's playing, yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Because it ain't
Now,
for
don't we
Dalton.
all want Carolina to win?
Wow.
Hey, Sonny,
Anyway.
you got me for one more game. I know Bryce has to go, but
Wait,
you got me
wait.
for one more game.
I'll stay for one more if it's
Okay.
the Jaguars game.
If it's the what?
The Jaguars game.
Oh, listen, I'm done. Houston wins. I don't have anything to say. Jaguars suck, okay? And there's no cohesiveness on this football team.
Hard-hitting facts here by Sonny
Are you
Clark.
okay with it being the
Zero
Jaguars game,
chemistry.
Obi?
What?
Are you
What?
okay with
Zero
it being
chemistry.
Jaguars game?
Hey, Bryce, don't let him off.
I'm okay with that. I was hoping that we could all talk about how every week Sonny says, we start talking about this team. It's like, let's go to Obi and his Cardinals. They are not my freaking Cardinals. But I really want to talk about the Cardinals because I can't wait to talk about the Cardinals.
Let's
Because
talk about whatever.
this team,
All right,
This team-
Whatever Obi wants to talk about.
I love this. I love it
Let's-
because I love to trash on Kyler Murray. The kid is nothing but a punk. He's not a leader. He's a crybaby, and it's going to continue. The 49ers are going to bitch slap this team today. And the 49ers are hurt. 49ers are going to bitch slap the Cardinals into oblivion. And Kyler Murray, I can't wait for people to stop talking about, he's the best player in the NFL and he's one of the best top 5 quarterbacks. BS.
Who has said Kyler?
He's not a leader. He racks up his stats.
See, the problem
I'm
is he
just-
lives down
listen,
in Arizona.
listen,
That's what they do.
listen about this. So you look at every game that the Cardinals have played. The first quarter and half of the second quarter, Marvin Harrison is an elite receiver, or wide receiver 1.
Mhm.
The rest of the game, he disappears. Why?
What?
Because Kyler Murray gets cute and he says, I could throw it to anybody. Marvin Harrison is your meat and potato guy. Give him the damn ball. But yet Kyler Murray, it's not my job to give him the ball. Yes, it is. I love bashing on Kyler Murray because I can't stand the kid. I mean, I'm sorry. He is not a leader. He is a loser. He's a baby. He's a crybaby. He is not an elite quarterback in the NFL.
So you're saying
Telling me there's a chance.
Of what?
My goodness.
he's winning.
I love the bash on the kid. And I love to give my nephew. My nephew thinks Kyler Murray is the best thing since sliced bread. It's like, what are you seeing, boy?
Yeah. I called one of his high school football games. He was great in high school. I'll tell you that right now.
He was great in college.
Can I go next, please? Because
Yeah.
on this game, okay, so I do have the look. The Cardinals are kind of like the cardiac Cardinals. You never know what you're going to get.
Yes.
I've got the 49ers winning this game. But I want to address the rant that just happened on the show. I just find it, and I brought this up before, I just find it interesting when even reasonable people
Oh, come
fall
on.
into the
I'm
trap
a reasonable guy.
of yelling at the cloud about how rookies need to shut up and they don't need to say anything. They need to be seen, not heard. You ain't done nothing until it comes time for our rookie, our Ohio State rookie that we support with everything in our being. And then when the veteran tells him it's not my job to get you the ball, now we think, well, it is your job. Now we want to side with the rookie. When all I ever hear from these old guys yelling at the cloud is that, oh, they need to shut up, they need to stop talking and do all this until it's our guy. And then all of a sudden that goes out the window. I just find that very interesting to me.
Bryce, but don't you agree? I mean, Marvin Harrison's stats are in the first quarter and the first half of the game. The rest of the game,
and
what's going on?
Just the last 2 games, though. He
No,
wasn't
it's
even
been
looking at him in the
week
first 2.
to week 4.
Yeah.
Week 1 to week 4. Every game, Marvin Harrison has 2 or 3 catches, 4 catches, a tons of yards, and a touchdown. Where's that in the second half? Where is it? Is that on Marvin Harrison? I think some of it is because he's not working hard enough to get to win his routes and to get open. But yet also you could see in some of the games that they played that in the second half, Marvin Harrison is wide open. And what's Kyler Murray doing? Well, either one or 2 things: running for his life because the offensive line can't block, or 2, he's throwing it to someone else.
To Dortch.
Why? Into double coverage. Why?
Yeah.
So let's kind of dig into that.
Yeah.
Also, we may not. It is very fair to question. Okay, Kyler Murray does not seem to be universally liked on his team. I think some people like him. I don't think it's fair to say nobody likes him, but there's something there that people don't like him. However, one, he is not the first quarterback to be a little mercurial, to be a little bit hard to deal with. We've seen that. And number 2, no one has said Kyler Murray is the best quarterback in the league. What is being said is he is a talented quarterback. That's it. He can throw the football. He can play. Whether we like him or not doesn't take away from the fact that Kyler Murray can play. There are 3 teams, maybe even 4, on this show right now who would take Kyler Murray as their starting quarterback. I think the Bears would. I think Mike Tomlin would, even though Justin Fields is playing well, because Kyler Murray, young guy, has played pretty well in the league. I know the Jaguars could use him. I think he'd be better than Trevor Lawrence, and he would definitely be better than Deshaun Watson.
When did he play good?
Say it again.
When has Kyler Murray played good?
He hasn't had good years, Sonny, in the league. He hasn't had good years. No one, listen, Sonny, no one is saying Kyler Murray is a top 5 quarterback. No one is saying.
I know, but I'm asking.
He is a good NFL quarterback.
Huh?
He's never played well.
What?
Yeah, no, he has. I could think of 1, maybe 2 good years that he did have.
Cuervo, right now, I'm talking right now.
Yeah.
Would he not be a better option right now? Don't think of the tertiary things. As a player, would he not be a better option right now than Caleb Williams?
Oh, boy, you put me in the spot, Bryce.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, just as a quarterback, as a football player, don't think about future of the franchise and all that. Is he not better right now?
Well, I think only because of his experience, he would be a better option.
Okay, but we have to take that into consideration. I'm willing to say he would probably be, out of the 2 quarterbacks we have, he'd be a better option than Fields and Wilson. I'm willing to say that. So I can't sit here.
Well, you're insane.
I can't say that, Obi, that he's this over. Like, no one, I think, has rated him to be the best in the league, but he's a very good quarterback.
Okay, I'm just going to say this. I've never said this to Bryce before, but you need to go get drug tested. I swear to God, Kyler Murray over Justin Fields right now. You need to go get drug checked. I don't know
I do
don't
not.
know. Maybe I'm watching a different person. Kyler Murray is not a good quarterback. He's never been a good quarterback. He's shown brightness of greatness, but Kyler Murray hasn't been a good football player. And I'm sorry, maybe I'm watching a different Cardinal game than everybody else. He has not stepped up to the plate at all for this football team. As far as being the
Not
guy
true.
that you can depend upon week in and week out. Absolutely not. Now, I'm not saying Justin Fields is, but right now, I'll take Justin Fields. I'll take Justin Fields right now over him. Listen, Kyler Murray has proved who he is, and it's what Obi said in his rant, is that he's a self-righteous little egomaniac who thinks his shit don't stink, that he doesn't need to study a playbook, he doesn't need to do what other players who are known to be great to do just because he's Kyler Murray and he fooled the Bidwells to throw all the money at him. Complete nutter joke. He is a waste of a draft pick for the Arizona Cardinals. You name me a season when he played good. Okay, they made the playoffs. Whoopee crap. Football teams make the playoffs. What do they do on a regular
Sonny,
basis? 80% of the time, this guy sucks. No one wants to admit it because we don't want to hurt. We don't want to hurt his feelings. Screw him. He is 80% of the time sucks. I don't know what. I just want to know what other team.
Bryce,
What
I do have to
are
say
you
this.
watching?
Bryce, I really want to. I like you, dude. I really do. You have probably one of the 5 good minds here in football and background and stuff like that. But Bryce, I'm sorry, you're wrong here. Right now, I would hands down take Justin Fields over Kyler Murray. Hands down.
Even take a
Because
stretch.
I know.
Take a stretch on it.
No, listen. I know from being out here and seeing the stuff that Kyler Murray does. I've seen the games. I have to watch the games because that's all they've ever put on here is the fucking Cardinals. Really? Okay, I have to watch
and the worst media in the
this
world,
kid,
by the way.
I'm telling you, this kid, if he was in the Mike Tomlin system, would drown. He does not take authority well.
Exactly.
And Mike Tomlin is, I don't want to say he's an authoritarian, but it's his way, right?
Yes.
And Justin Fields, I just feel like he's much better at doing what he's doing right now. I'd rather, both these quarterbacks can run the ball and could be successful at it. But Justin Fields is bigger. I know he's not as fast, but Justin Fields is bigger. He's done it more. And he knows how to run and when to run and be successful at it. Kyler Murray runs just to run sometimes. And he's going to get hurt. I know I've been saying this for years. He has a tendency to get hurt. Yes, Justin Fields does too. Justin Fields, I just feel like fits the Pittsburgh system better than Kyler Murray would. Because I know the baggage that Kyler Murray is. I go back several years ago. And yes, this is like this nasty little thorn or nasty little Lego piece in the damn bottom of my shoe that I continue to step on. Kyler Murray quit on this team in the playoffs. I just can't let that go.
Yeah.
Guys,
and think about this. I'll even throw one at you, Bryce. I'll take Russell Wilson right now over Kyler Murray. I'd take and listen, Russ
had a good year last year. I wouldn't. I think Russ had a good year. But you see, here's the thing. Again, you guys, and when I say you, I mean Sonny and Obi, you guys are talking about Kyler Murray in terms of his attitude and how he comports himself with the team. There is a place to have that conversation. What I'm having my conversation about is a quarterback that has passed in his 6 years, and he's dealt with some injuries for over 16,000 yards, almost 7 yards an attempt, which is pretty good, 100 touchdowns, 47 interceptions, and a 92.7 QB rating. That, to me, means I would take him over Fields, over Lawrence right now, and over Watson, and even over Caleb Williams right now. The numbers don't lie. Sonny, you can yell about how he sucks and all that. Those numbers tell me he doesn't.
Okay, okay. Great numbers. How many football games have they won with him? Yeah.
Sure. I mean,
Hey, listen, you can have all the damn numbers in the world. You can be Frank Gore and be
fair.
a Hall of Famer.
That's fair.
So
See,
go ahead, Father.
Bryce, understand this. Kyler Murray is no Geno Smith, okay?
Like Geno. I love what Geno has done with his career. But
Right?
okay. No. You know what, Father? I'm glad you said that. Because look at how Geno Smith is playing. But who is the guy that tends to always crap on Geno Smith every chance he gets? See what I'm talking about?
I've admitted I might have been a little.
Yeah. And you know what? And guess what?
I'm still don't think he's a great quarterback. Hey, let's
Despite you and Obi yelling at the cloud, Kyler Murray's numbers point to a good quarterback. Just like Geno Smith.
I'll say adequate. I'm not going to say good. Listen, he's not a good quarterback. I'll say adequate. He can play this position. But as far as you taking your team and having success and winning football games, listen, you listen. He doesn't carry the torch, and that's what. Yeah. So
name me the last quarterback that has taken his team to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying win the Super Bowl. Has taken his team to the Super Bowl that we all would consider he thinks he's a prima donna.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
No, I don't think Jalen Hurts is a prima donna.
I've never thought of Jalen.
I don't know if anyone's on the show.
You're saying, I get kind of, yeah.
Maybe. Wait, say the question again, Obi.
Name me the last quarterback for an NFL team that has taken his team to the Super Bowl, not win it, just get there. That considered himself as like the all shit. You know, I'm great, and it's all about me, and I don't have to give guys the ball, and yada yada yada. And
Cam Newton. That's the only one I can think of.
Cam Newton. And where is he at now?
He's on his couch.
He's saying a lot of stupid crap on his podcast, but
all I'm saying is we can yell at the cloud about his attitude. The numbers, the numbers based on what I said tells me this is a good quarterback.
I'll say adequate because wins have to come with the numbers.
Okay, now that is a fair critique, but the fact that we don't like him, Obi. Or we don't like the way he doesn't throw it around.
No, I hate it too.
Guy.
Oh my God!
There are many players in the NFL I can't stand.
My God! At least throw him the ball at least 8 times in a game. Do something. You throw it to him 4 or 5 times. That's it, and then he disappears.
Cuervo, I've never seen him this emotional. This is his Ohio State guy.
Well, he has to listen to this crap every day.
He doesn't get this emotional about his brownies.
I think there's a little Ohio because he would take Fields over Kyler Murray. So there's some Ohio.
Obi, would you take Kyler Murray over Deshaun Watson?
Oh man,
there's too much. Both of those have too much cancer in
oh my God!
It's a double cancer.
Pick one.
Disqualified yourself. Out of your mind, Obi. Are you being serious right now? Now you're the one that needs to be drug tested.
No.
Yeah.
Right. There's just too much.
Can't
cancer.
stand neither one of them. He'd take the red. He'd take the red.
Kyler Murray is 3 times better than Deshaun Watson right now. That's not even close. Stop
it. God, they're both. Yeah,
okay, I'll tell you what. Here's a quarterback that I would take.
Okay.
Over Kyler Murray. Doesn't have the stats as Kyler Murray.
Okay.
But he's shown me that he's a team guy.
Okay. Jimmy Garoppolo.
What?
No,
that's not Jimmy. God, good Lord. Is Brock Purdy.
Well, everybody would take him.
That's Look.
But he's not. He doesn't have the stats as Kyler Murray.
No. But the team around him is what's making him better, though.
Exactly.
Here's the and then I'll let you go, Bryce. But I think this is the difference between old school and new school. Old school wants team. Old school wants you to put other things besides yourself over yourself. You want the team to win. You don't want it to be all about you. That's what old school people are. And I'll admit it, I don't like these kind of players because they take away from what the game is, which is a team game. And even to a certain extent, I hate the fact that Dak Prescott's getting paid getting paid $60 million. And acting like and I'll say it, acting like he's a team player. Listen, that guy's been out for the money because that's what he's about. And listen, but at least he's cool, calm, and collective about himself. Kyler Murray isn't. I'm telling you right now. Us old school want team. We want them to show that they love their team and are dedicated to their team. And when they're not, that throws me into a tangent.
Bryce, you picked up on that. These guys.
Listen,
these old guys.
Listen. To be an old school guy, you also, yes, I agree that you need to have those elite players on your team to be able to win in this league. You got to have elite players, but those elite players they've got to be teammates and good teammates.
Yeah.
I agree.
Kyler Murray is not.
I'll be the first to say Kyler Murray's not a good teammate.
Okay.
He's a good quarterback, not a good teammate.
Oh, and so right there.
Why anybody thinks he's good.
With the Podfather. That's what I'm at.
Go get drug tested. Right, evidently, he's not even good.
I'm not disagreeing that you need to be a good teammate. I agree with you on that. But y'all just you take it's like Obi, now you're right there with Sonny. You take an inch and now it's 10 miles. He goes, he's not a good teammate till he sucks as a quarterback. That is not true.
Well, I don't. Maybe I disagree with the numbers.
Hey Bryce, here's what I've noticed about it. What the argument is back and forth. Right. And I'm not saying anybody's someone's right, someone's wrong. It's just it just proves that we all see it different, right? Sonny and Obi are looking at the tangibles of what Kyler Murray is. Or I'm sorry, the intangibles.
Sure.
Versus what you're looking at with the tangibles. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying, one is right or wrong or whatever, but that's what I see the difference is what your guys' argument is about Kyler Murray. One side is the tangible part, what Bryce is talking about with the stats. Sonny and Obi are focusing on intangibles, his character. He's a good teammate or he's not a good teammate. He's a whiny baby. It's got to be put in his contract that he has to study for a certain amount of hours. He's a Call of Duty wizard, like whatever. But but what it comes down to, what is
those are fighting words right there?
Call of Duty wizard.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is, but okay,
it's a video game. I even get it.
I know what Call of Duty is. I'm just saying. I'm like, why would you want to say you're a wizard of that?
Well, because he's been known to play.
I would love to see more win with it. I'll admit, Bryce, numbers. Okay. I want to see wins with them, and
of course, so do I.
Wins come with not just with the intangibles like Cuervo's talking about come into play. In order to get those wins, those intangibles come into play. And here's another thing, and just what I've been hearing. There's a lot of people on his own team that don't even like this guy.
Of course.
Now, granted, you don't need to like the guy to play with him. I get it, but at the same time, I think there's a lack of respect for the guy as well. And that comes from locker room, I think, as well. So there's just some things with it. Bryce, always good to see you, my friend. And I know Obi probably has to step out as well. So we're going to do,
gentlemen.
This is a lot of fun.
Yes,
and then what we're going to do, we're going to take the quick, because Cuervo needs coffee. I already know he needs coffee. And then when we come back, we'll go rapid fire for the rest of
rapid fire.
Bryce,
going on, and we got
to
do some.
See you next week, Bryce. I hope
we'll see you next week.
He'll be here. He'll be here.
It's going down. It's going down.
I wouldn't miss this one.
You can't miss that one. That would be horrible.
Intangible for Kyler Murray, keep him from being great. I agree. But I do think what he has right now, he's a good quarterback.
Okay.
It sounds good. All right. Always good to see you, Bryce. From
He can throw
Brooklyn.
nice.
I
See you guys.
appreciate him. Love him. He's got it all figured out.
Obi's gone.
Oh yeah, Obi had the split too. He had to wail out on that as well. So that being said, we're gonna make the black background and we're gonna hear week number 4. It's the NFL meeting.
Week number 5.
Well, no, but this is the week number 4 meeting from our lovely guest. Let's bring her
Okay,
on.
week 4. I know we usually don't start with college games, but that Alabama-Georgia game was already better than anything we've seen from Jacksonville. Jalen Milroe might already be better than Trevor Lawrence. That was a great game. Yes, congratulations to Alabama. Their wide receiver born in 2007 already makes better catches than Amari Cooper. Usually when we see a bunch of Georgia players lose, we're watching the Eagles. Okay, Georgia will be fine. I haven't seen dogs beat that badly since Michael Vick. All right, let's start with the NFC East. Everyone get in here, please. The Giants and Jets both played at MetLife Stadium and neither scored a touchdown. Well, that must suck to lose, huh? Dallas, let's start with your game. By the way, did you guys know Post Malone was at our game? Oh, good. Maybe he can play corner. Okay, Dallas, why on 1st and 19 did Mike McCarthy have CD in at running back for negative yardage? Jerry said CD took all of our Derrick Henry money and he didn't want it to go to waste. Oh my God. Can we talk about our game? Yes, Jaden Daniels has set a new NFL record, completing 82% of his passes in the first 4 games. Yeah, but they punted once this game. Get the out. Washington hasn't been this impressive since 1776. Okay, moving on. Eagles, Bucks. Philadelphia paid their quarterback $255 million to read off Pinterest quotes and turn the ball over. That Jalen Hurts deal was a bigger scam than Scott's tots. Philadelphia, your secondary is terrible. In 4 games, CJ Gardner-Johnson has allowed 4 touchdowns and about 40 tweets. He's blocked more people on Twitter than in real life. Just get Nick in here, please. Yes. Okay, Nick, you bring the play calls to the players, right? Yes, I do. Then I just have to ask, why did Saquon have only 2 carries in the first 3 drives? Well, sometimes the players aren't good with dealing with the play calls. So you physically call the play. Well, no. Kellen Moore does that. Okay, so you must call plays for the defense. Well, no. What would you say you do here? I am a great people person. I have great people skills. Next, let's do Broncos-Jets. This was a game between the oldest quarterback in the league and Aaron Rodgers. Cliff Kingsbury and Nathaniel Hackett both played their former teams this week. Cliff Kingsbury put up 42. Nathaniel Hackett is still trying to figure out if Braylon Allen and Breece Hall are different people. In my defense, they both were 0. Start using Allen on the goal line. You lost to a team that had -7 passing yards at the half. We are fixing it. We're going to change Aaron Rodgers' cadence. Get out! Can we talk about the Packers game now? Yes, sure. Green Bay, what is your problem? I've seen better kicks from Urban Meyer. You know, Greg Joseph went 5 for 5. We will be fine, okay? Our quarterback was playing on one leg. Jordan Love honored Brett Favre by wearing his jersey and throwing into triple coverage. All right, so we missed a couple kicks. We will be fine. Jonte Porter has a better field goal percentage than your kickers, and he was trying to miss on purpose. Chicago! Get Shane Waldron in here, please. Shane, I heard a couple of the guys sat you down. You told them you were going to be more aggressive. Tight end screen is now wide receiver screen. Get out! Joe Burrow was not sacked today. I'd like to apologize for the drink thrown on Chase Brown. Positive note, it was not our owner. Carolina, you had 5 guys around Jamar Chase and he scored a touchdown. The Auburn cheerleader tackled better than you. We would like to cut Paulson Adebo. You cannot just cut someone without cause. I have cause. It's because I hate him. Okay, New Orleans, Derek Carr is now 1-4 against the Falcons. Well, we wanted him to look more like Drew Brees, and his game-winning drive was ruined by our defense, so we are right on schedule. Kirk Cousins has now thrown to Tyler Algier, the ground, and the other team before he throws to Kyle Pitts. Where is he? He's a little busy right now. We're teaching him how to swag surf. Is this the swag or the surf part? I've seen Cousins score more in Alabama. Okay, New England, how are you doing? The Celtics play on Friday. Great. Joe Flacco and Baker Mayfield combined for 5 touchdowns. Even when the Browns aren't playing, they're losing. Joe Flacco has now beat the Steelers on both Baltimore teams. Get Doug in here. Yes. Doug, you gotta do something about Press Taylor. 4th and goal from the 1 and you can't score. Look, I don't care if he makes us lose every game, okay? He is like a son to me. Bonds are just ruining Jacksonville coaches' careers. Get Stefanski in here. Guys, I have a great game plan for our opening drive. Okay, and then what? I didn't get that far. Both the Guardians and Browns regular season ended on Sunday. We did not look that bad. A win is a win, If these were the Raiders of the Lost Ark, it would stay lost. And lastly, another hit to the Chiefs. I'm sure you guys heard. First Hollywood Brown, then Isaiah Pacheco, and now... No, last week a ref got sick. It was a huge loss for the Chiefs. Did you guys see that Josh Allen throw from the sideline? It was the only thing he did. Detroit, congratulations. Jared Goff was 18 for 18, which would have been the 2nd perfect game thrown by Detroit, but Jim Joyce exists. And lastly, the Miami Dolphins are possibly the worst team ever. With or without Tua, that offense was a complete smokescreen. Oh, we have Mike McDaniel. You're right. Sorry, vape screen.
Let Buffalo Creek Doors and Floors help you restore your home to its like-new condition. Need a contractor? Let us be your first stop as well as your last. We specialize in everything that others don't, such as stained concrete floors, wood spot repairs on doors and floors, stainless steel spot repairs, anti-slip on floors, and more. Want to see what kind of work we do? Check out our Facebook page and you can see the craftsmanship you'll receive and expect from Buffalo Creek Doors and Floors. Give Rodney James a call at 214-536-2607. That's 214-536-2607. Or check him out on the web at www.buffalocreekdoorsandfloors.com. We are back here on the Couch Potato Sports Show, along with the Podfather. Good to see you there, my friend, as we are going to go into rapid fire when we get Cuervo back here. Always great, interesting conversations, that we have, especially when Bryce comes in. And it's amazing. We kind of got young school and new school. Yeah, I don't know. Cuervo's only 43, so I call him the new school. You're a little bit older than Cuervo. Bryce, I'm not sure how old Bryce is.
Why are we on this screen?
Huh?
Why are we on this screen?
Well, what's wrong with this screen?
I don't know. I don't know if I like it or not. There you go. I like that better.
Okay. Maybe I'll let you run this thing. I should probably let you do it, just so, But
why? I have internet connections up here that are issues. I mean, I keep fading in and out. So
yeah, we lost you a couple of times, but we got you back here. So, but always interesting conversations. That's why I like this show. Okay, we do this show. Believe me, it's not scripted. Okay, we just go with what we want to go with, and that's what I've been doing with this show for 15 years. If we scripted it, it wouldn't be fun. That's why I do it this way. So
yeah, this isn't pro wrestling, folks. We were going right off the cuff.
Hey, we go off on tangents. We go off on rants.
It's funny. There were times when Bobby would look at us and go, "I wish you guys would have more of a script up there than anything else." So you guys are just talking nonsense now.
It's not nonsense. It's fun. And I believe almost everything I say, unlike some of the stores that, they talk something to try to have a discussion about it. I believe what I talk about. I don't bring it up for subject to see if we can get likes or anything like that. So, that's about where I am. I'm into having the Keurig in the room so I can just go ahead and make my coffee as the show's going on. So
I'm just waiting for you to install. I want you to install the toilet in that room so you can drink your coffee, take a shit, and still do the show.
Hey man, we're going to try. Well, no, the bathroom's right in the next.
So yeah, but just have you sit on the chair the entire time while you're calling the show. That'd be awesome.
And take it. Yeah, and when someone says something I don't like, I could go real hard and go. But it is what it is. So. Yeah, but games up on tap, man. I'm looking forward to this week. So we're going to go rapid fire. We'll bring Cuervo in when he gets here and do it. Cuervo, get your buck back to his stage so I can bring you in. So I can have that up there. But that M looks pretty good. So we'll leave we'll leave it there until we get him in, and then I'll have to watch the green room. See if and when he comes back, it'll be right there. So that being said, we talked. Let's see here. All right, so this one is an interesting game. I guess I want to get your take. New England is at home. They're taking on the Miami Dolphins. This one's a tough one. I mean, because I don't know what I'm getting from both of these teams. Obviously, no Tua is going to be in the lineup for Miami. And the Patriots, they're basically just starting over. These two teams, you want to talk about mirroring themselves. I think these guys kind of mirror themselves as far as what you're going to see out on the football field regarding talent and how they play the game. So that being said, Podfather, Miami is in New England. What's your take up on this one?
Well, because the field goal advantage, I'm sure that the Patriots will have. I'm picking the Patriots on that one. Again, I don't know who Miami is. I mean,
Yep.
without their quarterback, they're just that other team. Now, that other team can sneak up and bite you and get a win, and especially a team like New England that's not that great. But, again, this is a chance for New England to kind of, stretch their legs out a little bit and say, okay, well, let's see if we figure out how to play this game. And their coach, it's a new thing for him. It'd be interesting to see how they handle this. They got the home field, like I said, so they have every reason in the world to win this game, especially when you have a team coming in that's really not that great and really hasn't been that great in a long time. So, yeah, give me the Patriots.
I don't know how I feel about the game because just more in the fact that the Patriots, they're a little bit different than the Raiders, as far as having a new head coach, and they were really high on who they had, going in. That being said, as far as the Patriots are concerned, it's a beloved kind of thing as far as the quarterback is concerned. They're beloved. Jacoby Brissett is going to be the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. Now, granted, that is a big change from anybody that we've seen, in New England over the years. But you got Tyler Huntley. Both Jacoby Brissett and Tyler Hunt, they both played on the same team as a backup to one, Jackson in Baltimore. So you got, and I look at the quarterback and I say, well, who is the better quarterback? And more in the fact. And, I don't know. I just hate this game. I love the fact that the Dolphins have the, dynamic wide receiver that can do. They got a couple, about 2 or 3 good wide receivers on this football team on the field at any given time. So I like that idea, but at the same time, I like what you can get with a Jacoby Brissett in reality. So I don't know. I mean, the quarterback is going to be the big difference in this game.
See, I don't think so. I think the quarterbacks are 1A and 1B. I think who's got the better team is going to be the better team today is going to be the one that wins this thing, because once again, it's going to be a 52-man, 53-man, kind of game where we're going to need, both sides of the ball to contribute for both teams, really, because again,
right.
I can't tell you, but yeah, I know Miami's got the offensive firepower and Tyreek Hill, but they don't have the quarterback throw to him. So
exactly.
So
I get it.
I mean, once again, you got a dink and dunk passer right now, which doesn't help you when you have a deep threat like Tyreek Hill. Having said that,
right.
I mean, you dink and dunk all you want and get inside the 40-yard line. You got your kicker lined up to kick which is now is a chip shot for these kickers, and that's what this game could end up being. I mean, look, I have a hard time just putting one team on one quarterback. Yes, it's easy to do because he's the face of the franchise. I get all that, but there's those other players around that want to win too. Some don't want it as bad as the others, and I mean, you got a lot of egos in sports.
Oh, without question, yeah.
So it'll be real interesting to see what goes on in this game. A bit of a sleeper. I mean, if I was going to be home and I had the game on, if I had a couch I can lay out and just take a nap, I'd probably do that on this one. But Don't have that luxury, so I'm gonna try to sleep at work. So, so having said that, give me the Patriots.
All right, Cuervo, the Patriots, they are taking on the Dolphins in Foxborough. What's your take up on what you'll see here today?
Yeah, Dolphins look like a completely different team without Tua, and that's crazy to say, but it's the facts. I mean, that offense just doesn't look the same. So, I'll take the Patriots. I'm assuming we're on kind of a rapid fire right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're rapid firing through this one. So I'm just gonna go with the team. I'll do a Podfather and I'll take the quarterbacks out of it. Do I think Jacoby Brissett is better than Hunter? Yeah, I do. But as far as the other cogs that are in it, maybe he doesn't have to be the superstar to maybe deliver it to Hill to see if Hill can use his legs, get the yakety yak and do what he's going to do. Jacoby Brissett, I think, is a good cog as a backup, not as a starter. That's one of the problems that I think New England has as far as that is concerned. They have to have a better answer at the quarterback position. But so I'm going to take Miami in this one, and and listen, I have no confidence in the pick, but it's just kind of where I'm at. Jacksonville and Indianapolis, I didn't have a lot to talk about it. It was one. Listen, until they can figure out or win a game. And listen, this would be a good game for the Jacksonville Jaguars to get the win in. A division game against the Colts. But Colts have Joe Flacco out there that's starting today. Say whatever you want about Flacco and his talent. Right now, he came in and just took over that Colts team and had them beat, I think it was, the Steelers last week. So you got a veteran quarterback going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars who have no identity. I'm taking the Colts. Cuervo.
Let me see. Who are the Colts playing? I can't remember now.
Jacksonville.
Well, yeah, I'll take actually, I don't know. I've been kind of going back and forth with this, and I'm kind of feeling the Jaguars get their first win this week. No Anthony Richardson.
Got to get it, I think, sooner or later, but
yeah, Joe Flacco starting for the Colts today. I know we were kind of talking about Flacco earlier. You know what, Sonny? I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to take your Jaguars. They're going to get the first win because I think Doug Peterson, his back is against the wall. He'll find a way to get a win.
Let's see if he gets. I hope for my Jaguars' sake they do. Podfather.
Like Cuervo, I bounce back and forth in this game. Start with the Jaguars, end up with the Colts. I'm going to stay with the Colts. I mean, again, Colts won last week in a game where they probably could have lost. But, give me Flacco and the Colts.
Interesting game. Buffalo and Houston. This game is in Houston. And this is a game where I think a team who is going to have to make a statement are both of these teams. These teams, they need to have a statement game, and this is it. Right now, I mean, I like both of them. I mean, this is just a flip up. I just think so far from what I've seen all year compared to the other team, I think I like what I see in Buffalo more than Houston, even though this game is in Houston. So, Podfather, what's your take? Houston and the Buffalo Bills. I'm on the Bills.
Well, Bills are coming off their first loss, so that was a awakening for them last week, especially against the Ravens. Houston needs this win, but I don't think they're going to get it. I think Buffalo's pissed. They're going to come in pissed. They know they need to beat a quality team. Houston was perceived to be a quality team at the end of the season. So I give me the Bills.
I guess I'm going to ask Cuervo, does the Diggs factor matter in this game as far as, what he's going to get and how he's going to get it as the Diggs is facing his former team in the Buffalo Bills?
I definitely think that they're gonna try and get Diggs the ball often in this game. I think C.J. Stroud and those guys want it for him. In the end, though, I think because of the lack of running game for Houston, I think that's what kind of does them in. So I like Buffalo to win this game.
All right. Now the game that is will keep the household nice and going. That being the Raiders in Denver with every gosh, it seems like in the Raiders the wheels are falling all off of it. I started at the beginning of the show, Cuervo. I don't know. I do know one wide receiver in Devontae Adams wants out. I'm hearing others that if Devontae goes, Crosby wants to go. I mean, so it just seems like the wheels are falling off. I don't know how much truth there is to the Crosby portion of it because I just read the headlines. What's your take up on what you're going to see today as Las Vegas are going to take on your wife's Denver Broncos in Mile High?
Yeah, listen,
this is a good game.
I think so too. Between everything that's going on with the Raiders and the kind of the downfall that's happening, between that and hey, Bronco fans are kind of hyped up. They're gonna bust out the old John Elway Orange Crush uniforms, and
nice.
Everything's gonna be all good, right? So I do think Denver gets the win.
Because the wife's looking at him.
Because the wife's looking at me, and because look, I got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line, man. The offensive line for the Broncos has been showing out the past couple weeks. I think against Tampa 2 weeks ago, I want to say they gave up no sacks, and then last week against the Jets of all teams, who just took this loss. By the way, guys, game's over.
Good.
Vikings win. I think they gave up one sack. Bo Nix got sacked one time. So between those two defensive lines, that O-line has given up one sack in 2 weeks. So if they can keep that up, Max Crosby, I'm not sure if he's playing, but protect Bo Nix, I think they're going to be fine. So that's why I like Denver to win.
Father.
I'm picking the Broncos because Cuervo's wife is looking at me right now, so I'm a little afraid.
Now she's looking at you, yeah.
He's even intimidating you. Okay.
No, I mean, we talk about the war momentum, right? And right now the Broncos got that.
Mm-hmm.
Raiders don't. So
crazy with what's going on. I was looking at the numbers and I was trying to find who's dominating anything, and the only thing I'm seeing is that the run defense for the Broncos is not all that bad in reality. I don't trust this pick at all. But I'm just going to go with the Broncos. They are in Mile High. That's that home team thing, and I'm just going to go ahead. But if the Raiders win, would it surprise me? Of course not. But it's going to take a Devontae Adams big game in order for him to win. Never mind the fact that every time a team that goes into Mile High, they have a hard time playing. That say whatever you want about the elevation. It's a big deal in Denver. So I'm going to hang with it. Since your wife is staring at me too, I'll go ahead and I'll take the Denver Broncos.
She's got eyes on everybody. Let me tell you.
I guess, and she's ready to stomp a mud hole in any of us who don't pick the Denver Broncos today. So, San Francisco is at home against Arizona. I don't have anything to say about this game. Even with all the injuries that are going on, Cuervo, with San Francisco, they're just the better football team. That's why I'm going 49ers.
Yeah, same 49ers.
Podfather.
Niners.
Not a lot to say. Boy, I thought I'd bring something out. Green Bay is on the road taking on the Rams. Now, listen, I heard the preseason hype a little bit about the Rams, and then after the first 2 weeks, watch out for them. Now they've fallen off. They're not that, hype thing that's going on. The Rams are not all that great. And so Podfather, as far as Green Bay is concerned with Jordan Love, is he 100% really, really, really ready to go and play 100% game? This will be a good game for him to start with it, as far as the team is concerned. Who do you got?
I don't know who the Rams are. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they indifferent? I get who the Packers are because at least they're trying. And I can
Well, the
really go
Rams
either
are
way.
1-3, and the Packers are 2-2. I mean, the Packers are giving up 3, and they are, if I'm not mistaken, they're in LA. So, I mean, the Rams are not even getting the home 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to go Packers on this one.
Packers for the Podfather. Cuervo, who do you got?
Yeah, I think the Rams will keep it close, but in the end, I think they lose. The Rams lose.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to say the Packers win. I love this guy. He's such a consistent. He hates them so bad he can't even admit the Packers will win. Just that the Rams will lose, and I'm with him. The Rams will lose, but I'll say the Packers win. So keeping it out.
Like
All right.
You like them, that's why.
I don't know if I like him per se. I do like Jordan Love. I think that he's pretty damn good. He's going to be one of the better ones coming out. Seattle takes on the Giants, and they are in Seattle. And I made it. I said it earlier. Geno Smith seems to be the right fit for Seattle. Any other team, man, I don't know. But he's kind of a good quarter. I won't even say he's adequate, because I like to say he's adequate. I would like to say he's adequate. But what he's doing for the Seattle Seahawks, Podfather, he is doing good. So, that being said, who do you got in this one? Seattle? Or are you going to go on the other side and say the Giants?
Giants suck. I mean, the Giants couldn't put up a touchdown against Dallas. I mean, that says a lot about them. And Dallas could really give up touchdowns too. So the fact they only give up field goals says all I got to say about the Giants. Look, Daniel Jones, can we all agree that he is not who they think he is?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think they even think he is.
And if I was going to ask anybody here, who'd you take, Geno Smith or Daniel Jones? I think we all picked Geno Smith twice on Sunday, right?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, give me Geno Smith in the Seahawks.
Cuervo, gonna go on the other side, maybe take a stretch and take the Giants, or not today?
The Giants, no. I'm taking Seattle.
Gotcha. All right, so Seattle's on there, and then the final game that we have not covered: Kansas City and New Orleans. Hey, gonna be a good game, and I can't believe I'm saying that about the New Orleans Saints. I mean, I can't decide. I can't decide if I think they're good or not. But it is the Chiefs. So I didn't think very hard on this one. I'm going just Chiefs, just what it is. But this could be, Cuervo, I'll say it. This could be a trap game for the Kansas City Chiefs in reality.
It could be. Just depending on how much pressure the Saints can get on Patrick Mahomes. And now that Rashee Rice is out, you already had Hollywood Brown's been out. Who's Mahomes going to go to? Now you're down to Worthy, the rookie, and we might see some more Travis Kelce again. So I still think Kansas City wins, but I think it'll be a good Monday night game.
I think it's going to be a heavy dose of Travis Kelce. Podfather.
This is a game to where I mean, if I was going to be a betting guy, I would probably bet Saints, only because this is the game I can see Kansas City losing. But I'm not going to do that. But I'm not going to do that because they're still the Chiefs. What's going on? That's something going on in my
It's 5.5. It's 5.5, man. So it's just like, not only do they get the 3, they get a couple extra and a half on that one to end up with a win over at Arrowhead. So, by the way, just to let everybody know, Cuervo, when this show goes off the rails like it did today, is when I enjoy the show the most. It's just so much fun. And you want to talk about unscripted? We should probably change the name to Unscripted. But we're going to keep it the same. But it is definitely unscripted. We have no clue what anybody's going to say at any given moment. That's why I love the show.
Right.
That's why I've been doing it for as long as I have, because you just don't know what you're going to get. So, as usual, always good to see you, my friends. And so what's your schedule next week? Are you going to be in town, or are you heading out of town? in next week your football game that the aren't you traveling? Oh, you're not.
No, it'll be in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. So
Yeah,
we
so
won't get it in
I
2
may or may
weeks.
not be. I may or may not be on that day. We'll still
Yeah.
be in New Orleans. We'll fly out that day, but yeah.
So is this a turnaround? You're going to get off the plane, catch the game, go back, catch the red eye back? Is that how you're doing it, or are you going to stay the night?
Oh God, no. We're staying a few days.
Oh, good.
We'll get into New Orleans Wednesday. Do some sightseeing and doing all the cool touristy stuff, and then Thursday's the game, and then we'll spend a couple more days out there and fly back on Sunday.
Oh, enjoy Bourbon Street. They ain't nothing like Bourbon Street. So, and so
what we hear.
you guys will have a ball, especially with the drinking on the street, just like in Fremont. You know, so it's Sonny's Fremont, but over there. So that's where it works out. So, all right, my man. Thanks for joining us here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. And look what's starting up. Sophisticated Sips. That's right. My coffee. I finally did it. Broke down. Got the coffee company going. We're going to see what we can do with it. So that's going to do it for us. There is your champion. All hail to the pod. Oh God, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that, and I'm going to make the picture so much better with you doing that. I'm gonna get it. I can't wait to get it. That's gonna do it for us here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Everybody have a good one. We'll catch you next week for week number 6 in the NFL. And why is this down? Where is this thing? I thought it had a thing where you could do the out. This thing, I can't. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's just in the wrong place. That's gonna do it for us. Enjoy the NFL and 7 hours of NFL action on Red Zone. We're out of here, everybody. Bye-bye. Play. Fine, I'll just do it.